Well, a tremendous Thursday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca. Orders Nation, YouTube and Facebook and X. As always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website. And it's Thursday, so you know what that means. The Daily Grand. Get your tickets for your chance to win $1,000 a day for life. For 20 years. Not life. For 20 years at PlayAlberta.ca, where the Edmonton Oilers at home tonight getting set to take on the Columbus Blue Jackets, who don't look now. The Blue Jackets, they can score. Top 10 scoring team in the NHL. Now, they also give up a lot. So what are their games? They are entertaining. Oilers saw it firsthand when Edmonton, of course, went into Columbus, and that was the game where Connor McDavid got injured on his first shift, less than a minute into the game, and Edmonton ended up getting spanked that night, 6-1. So they will look to bounce back. It'll be the battle of the backups tonight. Pickard versus Daniil Tarasov, who, if you look at his numbers, yowzer, 8 starts. He has a goals against average of 4.04. 4.04. Save percentage not great, 861. Meanwhile, Calvin Pickard, man, you look at his outside of his Chicago start, he's never allowed more than 3 goals in a game this season. He has, in 6 of his 8 starts, he's had a save percentage above 903, above league average. He's been fine. More than fine for the Edmonton Oilers. In fact, their goals against are 13th in the NHL, which has the question. And everybody always talks about save percentage. Well, when we talk about goals, we talk shooting percentage, you talk about goals. Wouldn't goals against be the most important one? Especially because if you face 20 shots and you allow 2 goals, but you face 28 and you allow 2 goals, I know your save percentage is 928 to 900. So it looks better. But if those extra 8 shots weren't really good scoring chances, are you really that better? Or is it all that matters is how many goals you allow? To me, I think the save percentage one, which always gets listed first, I'm like, what's our goals against average? And the Oilers, as I've said, defense isn't their problem. Their goals against is 13th. They got to score more. Early on, their goaltender, specifically Skinner, needed to make a few more saves. They have been. No question. Now it's time for the offense to get a little bit more consistent. It would help if their power play could get a few more opportunities. No question. And we'll see. But Columbus, this is going to be a high energy game. They'll create, but they will also give you chances. And it'll be up to the Oilers to see if they can bury them on Connor McDavid night tonight, as he will be honored for his 1,000th career point that he scored earlier last month in November, becoming the 4th fastest player to 1,000 points in his career. Only Gretzky, Lemieux, and Mike Bossy by a few games scored 1,000 points quicker. Obviously, I think McDavid, when you get to point 1,100, I think he'll be quicker than Bossy, and he'll end up being the 3rd fastest to there, and away you go. Also today, we'll get lots of text, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our eWell inbox. Of course, eWell, a partner in power since 1975. It is also day 4 month of giving. Man, we had an unreal day yesterday. Down to the wire. If you missed it, we had 3 guys betting. Sterling from Mr. Dirk was listing, and he offered to match it. So we ended up having 2, Scott and Brian. Each had 3,700 for the Mr. Dirk package. Amazing. And Sterling got a steal himself. He got the golf package. So pretty awesome. I like it. Today, we have a fantastic deal for you, courtesy of the Glendale Golf and Country Club, where you're going to get a 1-year membership for the 2025 golf season. The membership allows full access to the tee as a regular shareholder would have. So you're teeing off. There's no restrictions anymore. You want to tee off at 6 a.m. on Saturday. You're a diehard. Knock your socks off. You get all that. Now you get your club storage, all the driving range, all that's included in your dues. All your immediate family member, your partner, your spouse, your kids, at no additional charge, you get all access to the dining facilities and the sick outdoor pool. And it not only is an outdoor pool, there's like a huge lawn area. Kids play soccer in there. They're playing tons of different activities. It's amazing. So even if your spouse isn't big, I'm telling you, he or he will love the pool. And yeah, because I don't know many people who don't like just relaxing, sitting outside. You've got the lounge chairs. There's a diving board right in the pool. There's a little kiddie pool. So there's actually two pools, a small one for the youngsters so they can frolic and splash around and not have to worry about them, having the water go over their head. So that's good. And then you get into the big pool and the deep end. It's fantastic. A lot of cannonballs. A lot of jackknives, a lot of fun. So if you want to try it out, this is great. This is like your opportunity to try it out. Hey, do I really like it? If you've been sitting on the fence about it, here is your chance to try it. So there you go. So you get the golf membership. You also get the social membership for your immediate family, club storage range, and you can tee off as many times as you want all summer at the Glendale. So if you want to tee it up, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. And Mike opens it up at $1,000. Also, now we got a little rapid fire. We'll do this one till 4:00 today. But we have a pair of seats for tonight's game. Do you want to go see McDavid be honored and likely see a lot of goals? I think the Oilers should still remember a little bit of the ass kicking that they took by Columbus 6 weeks ago. They also want to make Rogers Place a hard place to play. They started out the season bad, just like last year, but they're 3-1 in their last 4 home games, coming off their best home performance of the season when they spanked the Rangers 6-2. And so McDavid, they'll have a special ceremony. Now, the last time the Oilers had a player score 1,000 points, you got to go back to 1991. Mark Messier. Curry did it in 1990. Gretzky, of course, did it in only his 5th season in 1984. So it's been a while. See, now I know what you get when you have 1,000 games played. You get the stick, right? The silver stick's a pretty big deal. Honestly, I have no idea if there is a guaranteed thing for 1,000 point. Cons, can you think of it? I can't. Can you?
No, I mean, it's been so long, Gregor, since I've witnessed one of these for the Edmonton Oilers. The memory doesn't go back that far. What would be inappropriate? Would you get a silver puck?
I don't know.
It's got to be bigger. What's the bigger accomplishment, 1,000 games or 1,000 points?
Oh, well, 1,000 points for sure.
It's got to be bigger.
Especially when you're the fourth quickest ever.
Got to be bigger than a stick then.
Yeah. So if you look at how many players, no, hey, I don't want to downplay 1,000 games because obviously 1,000 games is a pretty big deal. There's no question about it. But when you look at the history of the game, and McDavid is now already, like, there's only 99 players who have scored 1,000 points. He just passed Steve Larmer on the weekend. He is now up to 1,013. He's tied with Pat LaFontaine. Patty LaFontaine, pretty good player. And he played 865 games to get 1,013 points. McDavid's played 867. Next up on his list, Ryan Getzlaf, 1,019. Dale Hunter, 1,020. Rod Gilbert, 1,021. Brian Bellows, 1,022. Patrick Elias, 1,025. Brian Leach, 28. Kovalev, 29. Like, he's passing all these guys. Like, how many more points is McDavid getting this year? The Oilers have what? 55 games remaining? Well, they played. No. More now. Yeah, 57. So McDavid's going to be at 1,100 points by the time the season's over. So he'll be probably, he might pass Frank Mahovlich, who's currently 66 at 1,103. So he might be 66th by the time the season's over in only 10 years. It's pretty damn impressive for 97. But yeah, I don't know what you would want. Hey guys, how about get him a left winger for Mitchell? Ooh, hi-yo, Mitchell, hi-yo. I like it. It's a valid point. Could use somebody to finish Zach Hyman will return to the lineup tonight. That's good news for the Oilers because they could use him, no question. We're up to 1,800 from Jason now for the golf package today. Guys, I thought back in the day, Messi got a silver stick for 1,000. Glenn Anderson got a silver puck for 500 goals. I might be wrong. Well, the silver stick is usually for 1,000 games played. So, but I don't know. It's a good question. I might have to ask JC what happened. Of course, McDavid will be only the fourth player in franchise history to register 1,000 points with the organization. So, like 1,000 points in the NHL is one thing. It's 1,000 with one team. It's pretty special. Pretty special.
Brian on YouTube thinks it was a portrait for Gretzky.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Does Leon is it like a nice portrait? Like I'm a big believer in nice gifts, but man, a good meaningful gift with a little bit of a gag gift. Do you remember those? Right, like that T-shirt. You kidding me? That was great. Teammates love it. McDavid's laughing. Everybody, fans. You know how many fans like, I want one of those? Like, you know what? Yeah, could have. Why not? Get a copy of it. Would have been great. You sold those t-shirts for charity. You would have made a lot of money. Come on, Oilers. You missed an opportunity there. Big miss right there. Big miss.
You can find them on the internet.
Yeah.
I may have purchased one for someone for Christmas, and
really?
Yeah. I'll report back if it's any good.
Yeah.
I'm fully ready for it to be terrible.
Same material, yeah. Tamus is now up to 2 Gs for the golf membership. Hey, guys, give McDavid a banner. Put it next to Garth Brooks. Nothing like a good banner. Hey, I like a good sense of humor. Not Fred. Hey, guys, helmet makes more sense for 1,000 game than a stick for points. Gloves for 100 fights if anyone ever comes close, from Rick. Well, nowadays it'd probably be hard to get to 100 tilts. That's for sure. But would you want gloves? Because you never have them on when you're fighting. All right. Might want to get, an ice pack, something like that. Might need that. But I'm guessing he maybe gets a golden stick, Cons. I could see it. Because 1,000 points is better than 1,000 games played. Both really good, but there's only 99 players in NHL history who have scored 1,000 points. Now, obviously, that number will grow. There'll be a few more this season. But if you look at games played and how many players have played 1,000 games, you're into, I think it's like 300 and some. Actually, no. It's actually 300. Funny enough, it's 399. You know who's going to be the 400th player to play 1,000 games? God, if somebody can get this without looking it up, I'll give you. It's an active player. I will give you huge props if you can get this without looking it up. Active player who scored 100, who is on the verge of a game 1,000 to become the 400th player all time to do it. Cons will give you a hint. He's a member of the LA Kings.
I figured I wasn't eligible, so I looked it up.
Oh, you looked it up?
Now, someone else pretty close too, but yeah. If you know this, bravo.
Why? Who else is? I'm trying to look. Active players that are close?
Well, not 11 games back.
11 games? What? Not on the NHL website. Got one guy's 12 who just got injured. Tyler Seguin.
Yeah.
He needs 12 to get there. Cam Fowler's 13.
Fowler's there, yeah.
Fowler's 13. Who else is active? As I go through the list.
You got an Oiler. Getting close-ish.
Close-ish.
Next year.
Well, Nuge.
Nuge, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be next year. So
Henrique.
What's he at?
937.
Oh, so he's ahead of the Nuge.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. It's Trevor Lewis, in fact, who will become the 400th player So basically, to score 1,000 points is at least 4 times harder than to play 1,000 games. There's 99 guys who have got 1,000 points so far. 399 have played 1,000 games or more. Hey guys, would they engrave all the names of the players? Gregor, you said it the other day. How many players have he assisted on? Well, 56 different players he's got assists on, but I don't know how many different players have assisted his goals. Good question. I don't know that, but I do know all the players that he has assisted on so far. Of course, Draisaitl that leads the way with 197 goals from Draisaitl. Kapanen became the 56th teammate to score a goal on an assist. Hey, boys, you know, did Gretzky get anything for 2,000 points? God, I hope so. But I don't remember. That's a really good question. Better of. No one else has ever done it. Should have got something big. How could he not? That's massive. Massive. Let's take a quick break. We will return. And coming up on the program today, loaded show. I love it. We'll talk a lot of the orders as they course. We'll get to the oil report next. We'll hear from Chris Naumack. By the way, and then Ryan Kenny will join us. Also, Mark Killam, the head coach of the Green and Gold, was down at the Oilers dressing room today, meeting the players. Him and Chris Knobloch, 2 alumni grads. Of course, Knobloch played hockey for the Bears. Killam played linebacker for the Bears. And now they're both the head coaches of the 2 pro teams. Well, the hockey and football pro team in Edmonton. Of course, there are other pro teams, right? But, you know, we're not discounting the Stingers or anything. But I'm just saying it's kind of unique to have former players. Jordan Baker, former Bear. So there you go. It's a pretty good route to go if you want. But, yeah, that's obviously fairly unique to have the university program currently have both of the head coaches of the Oilers and the Elks. And as I mentioned, the Elks, we talked about it. Max Simek's going to be the OC. And we mentioned JC Sherritt will be the DC. Contracts aren't official, but they're unofficial. You know what I mean? I think the O-line coach is going to be retained from the Elks, from their existing staff, but that's it. And so they're going to need a D-line coach. They're going to need a receiver coach, linebacker coach. Now, we did ask Killam about special teams. Will he run it? He'll be involved in it, but will they have a special teams coach? That kind of remains to be seen. Bill Schmidt will join us talking some football. Ryan TR will be by. Jean Principe talking hockey. Aaron Portsline, no one better tapped into the Blue Jackets than AP. Speck will be by. We'll hear from the GM of the Elks, Ed Hervey, on kind of what went through the coaching search. Obviously, we know who he interviewed and who he didn't interview. And what was it about Killam that stood out? So, we'll hear all of that. McDavid, who, of course, will be honored tonight, is going to have some family members in town, as he should, wants to share the moment with them. Of course, his lovely wife. So it's a big deal. And we're now up. Jason's back in at $2,500 for the golf membership. No, $3,000. Who's up to 3? Did I miss one?
Mark came in at 3.
Okay, There you go. Mark's in at 3. Well, nice. We got a lot of bids. All right. So Mark's in at 3. Not even halfway at the membership. So I like it. Let's go. 833-401-1440. Also, Steve, $200. Steal of a deal for Steve at 200 bones for the sweet tickets tonight. Tamis is up to 3,500 now. But yeah, $200. Sweet seats tonight. Oilers, Blue Jackets. The McDavid celebration. And by the way, it will be televised. So if you're not going to the game, you can watch it at home. But if you want to go to the game, great seats. Oilers attack twice. All for charity. 833-401-1440. Quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Santa sweat, dripping on the tree, due to that new furnace that you got from Legacy.
Legacy Heating and Cooling wants to help you prepare for Santa. A nice warm stop during the cold night is the gift you give him. And Legacy can help with no payments and no interest for 1 year on your festive new furnace, because warm homes get better presents. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Everybody now, Santa sweat, this ad's really weird. Santa perspiration.
At Papa John's, better is our specialty. Try our butter chicken pizza, the meat, the works, garden fresh, and more. Each special in its own way, just like you. With that ooey, gooey, crispy, crunchy taste, fresh, never frozen dough, and quality topping. Special has never tasted better. And so, for a limited time, get any large specialty pizza for just $17.99 with promo code LG1799 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Better get you some Papa John's.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Ain't it beautiful?
What does excellence mean to you, and how does it impact your decisions? Friends, it's Carrie Dahl, and I know that at Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't an option, it's their everything. From customer satisfaction in sales, service, inventory, and retention, they excel in all. Congratulations, Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners.
Volvo of Edmonton.
Get the latest intel before the next hockey game. It's the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show with Andrew Walker and Landon Ferraro. Before the game, join us all season long on Edmonton Sports Station, Sports 1440.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Centre's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$224. Welcome back. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley with you. Sports 1440. Orders Nation YouTube, Facebook, and X. As always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It is a beautiful Thursday. Man, everything is melting. I don't want it to melt because I don't like the muck right now. If this is springtime, sign me up. But I know it's going to get cold again. So we're just, get your windshield wiper fluid topped up. Oof. You're going to need it. It is mucky out there. Mucky a lot. We are at $3,500 now for our month of giving package for the golf membership at the Glendale for the 2025 golf season. That includes club storage, driving range use all the time. Your immediate family, they become social members, so they get access to all the dining facilities and the pool. The outdoor pool is unreal. I am telling you, if you're a golfer and you get this, your spouse is going to be like, I'll go all the time. I could just sit outside, suntan, right? Enjoy it. They got Slurpees, ice cream, food there. It's amazing. There's a big play area for the kids to run around for hours. It's loads of fun. So you will. This could be not just for the golfer; it can be a real family affair. So currently at bargain right now at $3,500, and we're at only a steal at 200 bones for the Oilers and Blue Jackets tickets Tonight, that's separate. We're just doing that kind of a little power one to see McDavid's celebration tonight as he gets honored for his 1,000 point. And hey, don't sleep on Columbus, man. They're on fire right now. 5-1-1 in their last 7. They score a lot of goals. Now they give up a lot of goals. So if you like goals tonight, could be. There will be a return of Zach Hyman, and he'll play with McDavid and Nugent Hopkins. Kapanen slides down 1. He'll play with Podkolzin and Draisaitl. And to start the game anyway, Connor Brown is playing with Ryan and Perry, and they have Janmark, Skinner, and Henrique as a trio. So we'll see kind of how that goes, but that's the lines. Defense look to be the same, and Calvin Pickard will get the start tonight. I kind of like that because they're going to go Skinner against St. Louis. Does Skinner have the opportunity to kind of, give it to some management? Hey, Doug Armstrong, are you looking at the Olympics already? Let's figure it out, Doug. Oh, you didn't want to pick me on the team? All right. Let's see what happens. So, I like it. Why not, man? Any little small motivation, because trust me, those guys will be like, they're proud players. Feel like, hey, I deserve to be there. So here's your opportunity. We should have a starting. Who do you think is going to have the best numbers from December 4th until February 10th for Canadian goaltenders? If you could pick that right, you should go to playalberta.ca and get the lottery numbers, because I think it's pretty tough to know. If you ask me which Canadian would have the most points, I'd probably bet McDavid or McKinnon and be pretty comfortable in that. Which Canadian defenseman would have the most points? Pretty comfortable. I'd pick Cale Makar. But which goalie is going to have the best numbers? I have no idea. It's like pin the tail on the donkey. No clue. No clue. Let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, and it's Thursday. You know what that means. The Fan Day deals. $4 Big Mac or McChicken or filet of fish, but only when you use the McDonald's app. So get the app and get saving at McDonald's. As Ryan Kennedy from the Hockey News joins us. So, Ryan, if I give it to you right now, starting from December 4th until February 10th, which Canadian goalie has the best numbers?
Well, you know what? I'm banking on Aiden Hill. I think he was the one player, or the one goaltender, I should say, that I had on my original list. And again, I mean, we've been talking about this for months now. No one has really stood out in the crease in the NHL amongst Canadians. But I think Aiden Hill is at least in a position where, he's on a great team in Vegas, and we've seen a pretty good track record with him. So I'll go with Aiden Hill.
Okay. Were there any surprises for you on any of the 4 rosters?
Certainly there were. I don't think there was any that were, sort of gobsmacking. I thought John Carlson easily could have made Team USA. I thought Matthias Michelli, I know he's not having a great year numbers-wise, but I thought he could have given Finland a different look. I thought the Swedes obviously had some difficult decisions to make on the blue line because they had so many good blue liners, and they had already named Erik Karlsson, who has struggled mightily this year, so they were a little handcuffed there. But overall, I think, just sort of with the speculation, the leaks, I know, Travis Sanheim, the people outside of Philly are wondering about, but it does seem like there was kind of a push to acknowledge that he's been doing a lot of heavy lifting for a Flyers team that is obviously still pretty young overall.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. Looking at a lot of teams, the Columbus Blue Jackets have been, I think, one of the best surprise stories. The unfortunate passing of Johnny Gaudreau, a lot of people thought they'd really struggle. And they're not struggling to score. They're like 8th in goals. Now, they give up a ton, but they're 8th in goals for. Are you surprised at how offensive this Columbus team has been?
I certainly am. And, further to that, when they bring in Dean Evason as coach, I think when we think of Dean Evason, we think more about defense. And they are better defensively because they couldn't have been any worse than they were last year. But, I mean, you're right. The unlocking of the offense, he's really sort of found some nice combinations. I mean, Sean Monahan has been incredible, and great to see him not only healthy and thriving, but also, he comes to Columbus expecting to play with his good friend Johnny Gaudreau, and obviously that didn't happen. But, he has sort of helped some of their younger forwards rise to the occasion. And then, of course, Zach Werenski putting up a ton of points from the blue line. We're talking potential Norris candidate. And, a big part of that, it seems, is the addition of Dante Fabro, who they got off waivers from Nashville, who has allowed Zach Werenski to really just, do his thing and keep that pairing solid in the meantime.
Yeah, well, hey, Werenski's been unbelievable. Like, honestly, Werenski could be a leading candidate for the Norris Trophy right now. Honestly, he's been amazing.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
He probably should be the leader right now.
Yeah, and, we think about the Cale Makars and Quinn Hughes, and those are the kind of the guys that are always up there, and maybe to a lesser extent Adam Fox. But, if you were just going in blind and, you took the names off of the stat, and just sort of said, well, here's where their team was and here's where they are and this is what they've contributed. Like, how do you not give Zach Werenski consideration?
Yeah, no, he's been amazing to me. It's been fantastic what he's doing. Makes Columbus fun to watch because, hey, they'll score a lot, but they'll give up a lot of goals. Tarasov's got a 4.04 goals against average in his 8 starts for Columbus. So, man, for an Edmonton team that's struggling on home ice to score anyway, they've been better lately, 3-1 their last 4, but we'll see where that gets going. You look around the league, and Toronto's played really well without Austin Matthews. The coaching change seems to have worked there. Although everybody says talk to me when it's the playoffs, and I think you could, if it's talk to me in the playoffs for Toronto, you could say talk to me in the playoffs if it's Carolina, because they've been good and haven't been able to get very far. Like, there's a few other teams. Toronto's not the only team that you can say just talk to me in the playoffs, because they maybe haven't done or gone deep in the playoffs as much as you'd like.
Certainly. And, I think the thing for these fans now is the hockey is a bit more low event. And I know some are whinging about that, but at the same time, they're also saying, well, we are winning. And these seem like more playoff style structures that Craig Berube is bringing in. So they're pretty happy with that. But I would agree with you. Carolina has been disappointing in the playoffs the past few years. I think, goaltending has been an issue, but also just, their system. I kind of feel this is the last year where they can play that way, where it's like, okay, yeah, you're dominating possession, but you're not super dangerous. And I think, Martin Netesh, the fact that he's been just on an absolute tear offensively, that's a great sign for them, because you head into the playoffs and you say, okay, well, we need a goal. Who do we turn to? Martin Netesh is a guy that right now you would certainly turn to. The New York Rangers are a team. I also think, they've had, decent amount of playoff success, but they haven't gone all the way. They haven't gone to the final in this era. And right now it feels like they're going backwards. And, if you look at the Rangers in the past few years, they've been a bad possession team, but they happen to have the best goaltender in the league in Igor Shesterkin. I think Connor Halley probably has that mantle right now, but it felt like they were relying too much on Shesterkin bailing them out and then Artemi Panarin producing offense, the other way. And it feels like the chickens have come home to roost, where, they're giving up so many dangerous chances and their goaltending can't paper it over. So you say to yourself, well, if you can't get it done in the regular season, what hope are you going to have in the playoffs unless something changes?
Ryan Kennedy joins us, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Ryan, when you look at the NHL, and, we've had a little bit of an uptick in goals. Man, I've been watching a lot of overtime games lately. Well, not a lot, but when they come on, I'm watching them. Man, a lot of them are just like awful. It's the guys they're retreating back. There's not a lot. Like, it's getting worse and worse. I believe they have to put in over and back like in the NBA. Once you cross center, you can't go back in 3-on-3.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And if I'm not mistaken, the KHL has experimented with something pretty similar to that, if not exactly the same. This season, I haven't been paying attention too much to the KHL, but players adapt, right? Like, I remember the very first time I saw a 3-on-3, it was the Traverse City Prospects Tournament back when Ken Holland was still GM of Detroit. And he wanted to try different things. They had 8 teams there at the time of all these great, like rookie players and prospects. And when I saw it the first time, I was like, oh my God, we will never have a shootout again. this is the most exciting thing I've ever seen. But once you get to the NHL and teams figure out, okay, maybe run and gun's not the best way to do it, especially if we lose the face-off, then you get into those sort of stalemates. And I agree, it's not fun if teams are just circling back all the time. And if they have to legislate it, then so be it.
Yeah, like I don't understand why they'd be against it. Right? Like to me, it seems like a super easy fix because it has become way too passive where a lot of the times, like some teams, if they get the puck and the other team has their best guys, they're like, well, let's just kill time for 45 seconds or a minute. And then they switch and away we go. Like it's gotten to the point now where I don't think this, like 3-on-3 was supposed to be exciting. It's going to end quick. Away we go. And that's just not being the case.
Yeah. I mean, the problem you will always have in the NHL is that at a coaching level, you don't want to lose, right? And it's like sometimes it's more than wanting to win is we can't give up that goal in overtime. Like we'd rather take our chances in the shootout. Let's play it safe and put ourselves in the best position possible to get 2 points. Let's not give up that second point by turning it over. And obviously for the fans and observers, that's not fun.
No, not at all. Do you think Joel Quenneville will be coaching in the NHL before the season is over?
Ooh, I feel like probably not, simply because there are other veteran options out there. And it's too bad that we talk, we get into the recycling all the time, but it's just, it's just one of those facts of life in the NHL that teams will go with a trusted hand. And I feel at this point, who else is going to get fired? I mean, maybe Mike Sullivan in Pittsburgh, not that it's his fault. Maybe Andrew Brunette gets a really quick hook in Nashville if things don't turn around, but that would be tough since he just got there. So, I would think like maybe a Todd McClellan would jump the queue, no pun intended. But it just feels like there would be a lot of rigmarole to get Quenneville back at this point. Like the more time, the better for him to prove that he deserves another chance.
Quickly, do you think the Edmonton Oilers are going to make a major deal before the trade deadline?
I mean, what's the Evander Kane LTIR, right? And do they see a place for Evander Kane when he returns? I think that's the big X factor with the Oilers. Could they use another goaltender to go with Stuart Skinner? What team couldn't, right? There's only a few teams right now that are happy with both their goaltenders. But it's what's the price? Like Edmonton's system is pretty barren right now, and by design. When you go to the Stanley Cup final, you've built yourself to a point where you've traded away some first round draft picks and some prospects. But I just don't know. It might have to be a hockey trade.
Yeah, that's fair. So yay or nay? Do they make it?
Yeah, I think they will. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Ryan, thanks for this, man. Have a good one.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
All right, it's Ryan Kennedy. Other big news in the NHL today: Alex Ovechkin back on the ice. Clearly, it was a hairline fracture. A fracture is a fracture, but when people say broken leg, hairline fracture, we're going to have to get Fedorik's coming on next week, so we're going to talk to him about that too, and the difference between like you break your leg or a hairline fracture. Is a fracture really a break? We'll ask the expert. Come up next week. We are up to now $4,200 in our month of giving. Great first hour today as went back and forth. Mark was at 3, then we were at 3,500. Jason came in at 4, and now Tamus is up to $4,200. So we're rocking and rolling. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. We're going to talk some more hockey. Of course, the Oilers taking on the Blue Jackets. We mentioned Zach Hyman returns to the lineup tonight. Oiler fans. Now, I know many of you, this is where you're going to say, I told you so. And you were right. If you can reach around, give yourself a pat on the back. Because many said The concern with Arvidsson was injuries. So tonight is game 10 that he will miss. And today, no timeline for a return for Victor Arvidsson, who was yesterday named to Sweden's four nation team. But no timeline right now for a return for Arvidsson. Haven't seen him. I've heard some rumblings, but I got to get a second source on that rumbling of what went on and what's gone on, I should say, with Arvidsson to get us to the point where it looked like it was supposed to be short term, and now it's a month and no timeline on when he'll return. So that's not good. That cap and waiver wire claim coming in handy right now for the Edmonton Oilers. Quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Also, still only a steal. If you want to go to the game tonight, it's all for charity. $200 is the tickets in the lower bowl. Oilers taking on the Blue Jackets tonight. You can be there for a Connor McDavid game, where he gets the Golden Stick ceremony for his 1,000th point. 833-401-1440. Can text in for that, or text in for our month of giving as we help out the Christmas Bureau. You get a year membership at the Glendale Golf and Country Club.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net. At Papa John's, better is our specialty. Try our butter chicken pizza, the meats, the works, garden fresh, and more. Each special in its own way, just like you. With that ooey, gooey, crispy, crunchy taste, fresh, never frozen dough, and quality topping. Special has never tasted better. And so, for a limited time, get any large specialty pizza for just $17.99 with promo code LG1799 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Better get you some Papa John's.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 furnace service company for the holidays because we don't charge overtime rates, including 24/7 emergency. Oh, I need service, please, Santa. Tell me your price. My furnace is naughty. Would you please make it nice? No, I can't wait to find it under my tree. Please send me service from Legacy. No overtime or emergency rates during the holidays or ever. That's how you service your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Kids getting free all season long. Can you believe it? Looking for an enjoyable and affordable family night out? The Spruce Grove Saints are excited to introduce their Kids Get In Free program. All kids 12 and under receive free admission for every Saints home game this season. Bring the entire family for action-packed junior hockey at a fraction of the cost. For more information, check out sgsaints.ca.
We now have a post-game show on Sports 1440. After the next game, tune in to Andrew Walker as he breaks down the game with you. The post-game show brought to you by the Ridge Social Eatery, St. Albert.
A lot of things were going on in 1974. Happy Days premiered on television. The Rubik's Cube was invented. Halley and Foreman fought the rumble in the jungle. And GS Construction started their first job. Yes, for 50 years, GS Construction has been building the infrastructure of Edmonton and surrounding areas. Think of the neighborhoods that weren't even built yet. Think of all the work that had to be done to get them built. Probably about 50 years. But for GS Construction, it's been time well spent. For more, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta? New players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Every week, all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Oil Kings Hockey at Rogers Place. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
This Family Fun Sunday in Ice District, kids take over as your Edmonton Oil Kings face off with the Regina Pats.
With face painting, a kids' fun zone before puck drop. Then kids will be taking over some of the biggest roles needed to run an Oil Kings game.
And at every home game, score Calmont kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is king-sized.
Edmonton Oil Kings, Regina Pats, Sunday afternoon at 4.
Great family entertainment at Rogers Place starts at just $20 a seat. Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
Commissioner Allen Auctioneering's next public unreserved internet automotive RV auction is Saturday at 9 a.m. featuring pickups, SUVs, vans, snowmobiles, side-by-sides, and RVs, all sold to the highest internet bidder. View on site, bid online. Info at maauctions.com.
At Papa John's, better is our specialty. Try our butter chicken pizza. The meats, the works, garden fresh, and more. Each special in its own way, just like you. With that ooey, gooey, crispy, crunchy taste, fresh, never frozen dough, and quality topping. Special has never tasted better. And so, for a limited time, get any large specialty pizza for just $17.99 with promo code LG1799 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Better get you some Papa John's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. eWell.ca is your power play partner with a new website that puts the power in your hands with 24/7 ordering and shipping within Alberta and the City of Champions. Score an account today at ewel.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through. Lovely Thursday afternoon. Game day. Sports 1440. Oilers, pretty big favorite at playalberta.ca, taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's Golden Stick night for Connor McDavid. Could the McDavid a multi-point game? Would anybody be surprised? You're going up against Columbus, who has they've given up a lot of goals. Although that Calgary game now, that was a very emotional game. Wasn't a whole lot going on early or late in that game. Calgary did win 3-0, first time all season that Columbus is being shut out. But other than that game, their offense has been rolling, but they are a fairly big underdog tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see Tarasov getting the start. He's allowed 32 goals in 8 starts or per game. So my goodness, you'd think the Oilers could be able to score tonight. Month of Giving continues on. We've had a great start to the week. Great start. Tomorrow's Pyramid of Giving. We've had many people wondering, yes, the Pyramid of Giving will happen tomorrow. 100, 200, 500, and $1,000 donations to help out Holiday Hamper, which is a great charity in town. So if you're thinking on that, you want to be a part of it, great. That's tomorrow. Today, though, we have an awesome package courtesy of the Glendale Golf and Country Club. It's a membership for the 2025 golf season. So membership allows full access to the tee as a regular shareholder would have. You get club storage, range usage all the time. Immediate family members, so spouse, common law partner, kids. They are social members at no additional charge. They get all the dining facilities and the pool, and the outdoor pool is unbelievable. There's actually 2. There's a little small one for young kids, or maybe if you just want to sit there and soak your feet, great. And then there's the other pool, diving board. It's awesome. There's a huge play area out by the pool, so you will have a great time at the Glendale. Lots of good people, lots of fun. And we have that right now at a pretty good price, but hey, we always like to get close face value. Currently at $4,200. 833-401-1400. 833-401-1400. So if you want in, you can. And Paulie went in at 300 for the tickets tonight, Oilers and the Blue Jackets. Not face value that, but we'll get up there as well. Let's get to our footy report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. You don't want to wait till it conks out. Call Legacy. They'll get you one. No payments for a year. LegacyHeating.ca. So also, of course, a busy night in the National Hockey League. And a pretty, on paper anyway, this should be a hell of a matchup. Thursday night, you don't get these type of matchups very often. 9-3 Green Bay taking on 11-1 Detroit. Is this the first time these two teams have ever met when they have combined 20 wins? I got to think it's a good chance. Good chance. So let's discuss that. Bill Schmidt joins us, Packers post-game host. Bill, how you doing?
Hey, man, appreciate it, Jason. Looking fantastic right now. And I would love to know what that number would be. The combined 20 wins would have to be like towards the end of the season in the Stafford-Rodgers run of like the 2014-ish. But these two teams have been pretty solid for a number of years, and this matchup's definitely got a lot of juice.
Well, the Detroit Lions, who for the longest time just couldn't win to save their life, could never make the playoffs. You know what? Campbell has really changed the culture of that team. They're good. Goff has come in and be unbelievable for them. The Packers, even with the injury to Love this year, have managed. Hey, you're 9-3. You're right in it. So, let's look at it from a play calling perspective for Green Bay. How do you think they attack Detroit's defense?
I think what they really got to do, Jason, is focus on the ground game. You're looking at a defensive line that has been absolutely ravaged by injuries for the Lions. I mean, they are decimated up front. Aleem McNeil might be one of their only guys that is preseason on their defensive line, probably like 2 deep rotation. That's going to be able to go tonight. I mean, they are just absolutely decimated, let alone DJ Reader and company gone. So I expect this to be a ball control kind of game. Both of these teams are really explosive on offense. But I think as we've seen a couple of different times with these really explosive offenses in games like this in the regular season, the best defense that you're going to play against the Detroit Lions is keeping Jared Goff, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs and company off the field. So I think the play calling for my estimation and what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, Jason, going to be a lot of Josh Jacobs, a lot on the ground, and allow Jordan Love in play action to start picking apart and pick his spots as to when to be aggressive downfield.
So do you see him is this Reavers going to be the main guy? Kraft, we saw, had 7 catches last week. Do you expect him to use his tight end a lot tonight?
A little bit, Kraft, absolutely so. The linebacking core with Rodriguez and Anzalone out as well for Detroit. I think that frees up Tucker Kraft. Also, guy that played a lot of his high school or his college football in the state of Michigan. Watch out for Jaden Reed. He torched these guys a year ago in Detroit. He's coming off a 2-touchdown performance last week. I know he only has 3 catches, 2 of which end up for 6. That's a decent fantasy day if we're trying to count out some points. Watch out for Jaden Reed because I think number 11 is going to be a target, especially in those deep crossers.
So then you look at the Packers defense against Goff and this offense. They got a lot of weapons. They kind of got the 2-headed running monster. They're very different, but they use them very equal. Obviously, it's St. Brown. Receiving Laporte at the tight end. Mm-hmm. How do you think, how does this defense match up against the offense of Detroit?
It's a good question because it didn't match. They matched up actually pretty well in week 9 when Detroit came to Lambeau Field at that point, what was the biggest game of the year, right? You mentioned you usually don't get these kind of sexy matchups on Thursday night. A lot more. This is set for, Jags and Titans. But for these two teams, when a month ago, the Packers were coming in, not getting any pressure on the quarterback consistently, really thriving and living off all takeaways. Right now, you're seeing a defense that is slowly but surely getting after the quarterback, getting at Jared Goff, hopefully knocking him off his spot. But even so, a couple of weeks ago when they played a 24-14 loss for Green Bay, man, they held Detroit to 17 points, one of their fewest outputs on the season. Jordan Love throws an inexplicable INT that gets taken back for 6 from Kirby Joseph, like 18 yards away. There's a minute and a half to go in the first half. And next time Green Bay touches the ball, I think it was 24-3. So like the game quickly gets away from you and it's almost over before you get another chance. I really like how the Packers defense is able to match up here. They're much better against the ground in recent weeks than they have been in the past. And so far, they're top 10 against the run yards per game, something that a Packers defense hadn't been able to say for quite some time.
Bill, you look at this, a win tonight, catching Detroit would be hard, not impossible, but would difficult with 2 games to gain in a short period of time. But, they've also got the Vikings right in between them. And, the NFC North right now, very strong arguments, the best division in football.
Yeah.
And I look at the Packers. If the playoffs started today, they'd be taking on the Seahawks, or the Falcons, who are currently in the NFC South. Like, catching the Vikings is huge because you're 5th, and you start on the road, but you're going to get the NFC South winner.
Yeah, in that 5 spot, similar to the college football playoff, might be a sweet spot because you get that NFC South winner, as you mentioned, and then you also might end up not going to, because if Green Bay wins tonight, and I think Detroit gets nipped 1 or 2 times here. I think they're right now, Jason, they're the best team in football. However, they have they're not playing their best ball of the season, and that generally is something that happens to teams who's are the best teams in November. A lot of times a team that's the best in November isn't the best in the middle of January. Talk to the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles, who started 10-1 and slid down the back of the dinosaur 1-6, and then got gassed out in the playoffs by the Buccaneers. So I think Detroit can be moved off that spot. I really would not want to go to Philadelphia right now. And if Detroit loses 1, Philadelphia has the chance to leapfrog. I think Green Bay, if you win here tonight, does have a chance to catch Detroit. They still get Buffalo. They still get Minnesota one more time. And the penultimate week of the year, Green Bay goes to Minnesota. So all these teams in the NFC North still going to beat up on each other a little bit. And I would say it's not really an argument right now. Best division in football. Packers would be leading like 3 different divisions, one of which by, I think, 3 games. If they were in a different conference, if they were in the NFC South right now, it'd be a much different story.
Bill, I had the pleasure of going to Lambeau many years ago, one of the greatest football experiences I ever had. We lucked out. There was a season ticket holder of like 60 years sitting beside my wife and, regaled us with stories about it. So it was fascinating.
That's awesome.
I love that. They're in Detroit, but like Detroit fans are pretty passionate. When you look at kind of that transformation, really, of that organization, like, and it makes the division tougher, I get, but how welcome is it, do you think, as a rivalry? Like, is the Detroit Green Bay rivalry, like, is it now a legit thing where maybe for a few years it's not much of a rivalry when you're always kicking their ass?
Yeah, Jason, it's one of the strangest feelings of all time, right? Because the Detroit Lions in my lifetime have given Packers fans the most reason to hate them. They had a player stomp on the multiple-time MVP's calf and laugh when Ndamukong Suh stepped back and stomped and rolled on the ankle of Aaron Rodgers when he had a serious calf injury. He did the same thing to Evan Dietrich Smith. And I mentioned Nick Fairley was a son of a gun. Like, they were mean. They were nasty in that 2010 run. But Detroit and the Motor City Kitties, as I like to refer to them as, man, their fans deserve this. I know people hate hearing this, and it really is funny when you're trying to build up some angst and some vigor. We really hate people from Chicago. All right, I'll lay this out here pretty cleanly. People from Minneapolis and the Minnesota border don't really like Wisconsinites. There's a good, healthy hate there. There's a nice little bond from the 2 states that generally share Lake Michigan in Wisconsin and Michigan. So there's not a whole lot of disdain for Detroit fans. It's almost, Jason, like that your little brother who finally beats you in one-on-one. And you're like, God, I really should be mad.
Yeah.
But I'm actually a little proud. So like there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of, there were all Packers fans, I think, pretty unanimously were rooting for the Lions to go and finish the job last year in Santa Clara that the Packers couldn't. So this is the NFC North team that's the least of a rival. However, give this thing about 3 or 4 years, a couple more battles like this, and we could be singing a much different tone.
Beat in the playoffs a few times and beat him, and then all of a sudden it's like gloves are off. One last one. How is Packer Nation watching and responding to the limping across the finish line of Aaron Rodgers' career?
It's a fascinating question. We get told, Jason, that we need to shut our mouths and stop talking about him, right? However, it always generates a lot of reaction on our talk and text line. People are always opinionated when Aaron's name comes up. So Packers fans are absolutely watching. I think in some delight Now, some cases, Aaron presided over some of the best moments of my fandom as a Green Bay Packer. My dad was a season ticket holder back in the 80s. I got blessed to go to games my entire life. So I appreciate and love everything he did. However, man, it was good time for the divorce to happen because both sides were kind of sick of each other. And it's remarkable to see how it just seemed to continue to go backwards. Like he had not liked the innovation of the offense that Matt LaFleur and this new age of football had done. Well, it gave him a couple of the best years of his career and then seemingly reverted back to a 2017, 2018 style offense. So there are a lot of people that are taking a lot of pleasure in seeing the downfall of the New York Jets. But Jason, I would say that that Netflix documentary series going to do some serious numbers in the state of Wisconsin. Serious numbers in the state of Wisconsin, even though people will say we don't care about that guy anymore.
Yeah, well, that is kind of fascinating. But it'll pique the interest, I'm sure, for some people to watch and kind of see how it plays out. Bill, we look forward to it. We'll talk again because, whether it's the Vikings or whether, although it's unlikely they meet each other yet in the first round or Detroit, but at some point there should be an NFC head-to-head matchup in likely the second round of the playoffs. It's
always fun, man. It's the best time of year. We're finally getting down to the stretch run. Really appreciate you having me. Sorry I was a little bit late, and looking forward to popping on again, Jason. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. There we go. That's Bill Schmid joining us from Green Bay as the Packers and the Lions. 9-3 Packers, 11-1 Lions. That is a hell of a matchup on Thursday night. We'll come back. We'll talk lots about the Oilers matchup. Columbus Blue Jackets. We'll hear from Zach Hyman, who very excited to get back in the lineup, wants to get rolling. Does he have something to prove after not making the initial roster for Four Nations Cup for Canada? We'll find out next. After Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers, and the Canada-wide clearance continues, but only until the end of the month. You can get a $7,500 cash credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation. See more at gmcoffers.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game day, the Edmonton Oilers in action, hosting the Columbus Blue Jackets. Puck drop on this one just after 7 o'clock. We've got pregame coverage for you here on Sports 1440 with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson getting going at 6. Some news for Victor Arvidsson, as head coach Chris Knobloch said that there still is no timeline for his return from the undisclosed injury. Elsewhere around the NHL, the Blues take on the Flames, Islanders hosting the Kraken, Avs in Carolina, Flyers take on the Panthers, the Sharks meet the Lightning, you got the Sens and the Red Wings, Preds, Canadians, and the Sabres hosting the Winnipeg Jets. Week 14 in the NFL kicks off tonight. Should be a fun one as we've got an NFC North battle with the Packers and the Lions. Kickoff set for 6:15 in the CFL. Veteran quarterback Trevor Harris returning to the Saskatchewan Roughriders on a 1-year contract. The 38-year-old had over 3,000 passing yards and 20 touchdowns in 12 games with the Riders last season. His second in Saskatchewan, 12th in the CFL. In Dallas Cowboys All-Pro guard Zach Martin season is over. As head coach Mike McCarthy said he will undergo a surgery on his right ankle that has been troubling him for some time. He's a free agent after this season and had previously said that 2024 could be his last. And in the association tonight, you've got the Raptors hosting the OKC Thunder, tip-off 5:30. Also, Knicks, Hornets, Mavs, Wizards, Cavs host the Nuggets, Kings in Memphis, and the Spurs taking on the Bulls. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Colin Livingston as we speed things up in the Cantor Racing Report and hear from members of the Edmonton Oilers. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys. That's right, because the HR lady said it's in humane conditions. But ho, 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 golly gee, Santa got a 1-year guarantee, and the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe in the wisdom of Patch Adams. Treat a disease, you win, you lose. Treat a person, I guarantee you'll win no matter what the outcome. We don't treat conditions, we treat people. From personalized treatment plans to compassionate care, we're committed to helping you achieve your goal. That's why hands-on techniques, unique technologies, and a commitment to hiring amazing people mixed with friendly, fun neighborhood environments. And ta-da! No, it's not magic. It's about being human. Sometimes being human hurts, but life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Ain't it beautiful? The inventory is unprecedented. Volvo Cars Edmonton is proud to boast an amazing selection of in-stock Volvo XC40s, 60s, and 90s. Visit Volvo Cars Edmonton today and experience the exemplary service you've come to expect and the affordable luxury only found with Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Experience the difference.
Volvo of Edmonton.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Commissioner Allen Auctioneering's next public unreserved internet automotive RV auction is Saturday at 9 a.m. featuring City of Calgary fleet vehicles, plus vehicles from counties, municipalities, and RVs, all sold to the highest internet bidder. View on site, bid online. Info at maauctions.com.
For over 65 years, Denham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving for work and play. And that tradition continues with the final year-end 2024 clear-out. Enjoy low rates or thousands in year-end savings on every vehicle, including F-150, Bronco, and Super Duty. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. Denham Ford on Highway 2A in Wetaskiwin or at denhamford.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. This is one big deal for one big pizza. Get an extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $17.99. Order today at papajohns.ca.
Hat-tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, Gregor. Connor Halley. Oh, man, some things change. Some things never change, especially in the sporting world. If there is one consistent, it is the constant belief that there is a miracle worker out there that will suddenly change the fortunes of your team. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Where you can, whether it's sports, you want to do parlay boosts, the money line, whether it's hockey, NFL, soccer, baseball when it's around, you name it. And how about the Daily Grand? Win $1,000 a day for 20 years. Get your tickets, get in the game at playalberta.ca. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. The Oilers taking on Columbus, but breaking news in the National Hockey League. And this involves a former Edmonton Oiler, one of the nicest humans you will meet in the hockey world. Luke Richardson, head coach, no longer with the Chicago Blackhawks. They've fired Richardson, and Anders Sorensen from Rockford is coming up to be their interim head coach. Look at the roster. Tell me how good you think Chicago is. Now, Maybe they're going to, some of this, hey, somehow Luke is, you know what? He's stunting the growth of Connor Bedard. Okay. We'll see. I don't think they have enough talent there at all. The Blackhawks are, when Luke Richardson took over, they weren't fully committed to a rebuild. And now they are. But they think that somehow magically they've got this little fairy dust somewhere, pixie dust, that's magically going to speed things up. Reality check. It isn't. Sorry, Hawks fans. You went scorched earth and you thought that somehow you could replant the seeds and they would grow quicker than all of the other teams who have been in a rebuild. It does not work. There, unfortunately, is no speeding it up. And there's no guarantee you ever even get there. Hello, Buffalo. There's no guarantee. But, man, unless Luke Richardson really changed, I don't see how you pin this on Luke Richardson in any form at all. But they make the decision because right now it's easier to coach. It should be NHL coach hyphen future scapegoat. Because in a lot of cases, not all, some it's deserving. Sometimes it's you need to change. But man, there's lots of examples, especially losing teams. Like if you're a winning team and like, you know, you look at Keefe in Toronto and everything like that. It's like, you know what, maybe sometimes it's just, he needs a new situation. They need a new voice. That happens. He was there for a long time. They had great success in the regular season, but they never had postseason success. Not to the level they wanted. Not the level they should have based on their team. So I get it. But when you're a rebuild team and you got a crap team, now I guess if, well, geez, we don't want to, you know, we want to get a bump, the new coach bump. Okay. You still got to have enough skill for it to last. You might get a bump for 4 or 5 games. But let's see. Chicago, as I open up what is Chicago? Are they second last in the NHL right now? I think they are. Or maybe they're dead last, actually. Now that I say that, I think they're dead last. So where are they finishing? Are they going to catch Nashville? Montreal? Maybe. Ottawa? Don't think so. Anaheim? No. But Chicago is who they are. They're not that good. They're going to sell off some players. They're going to get even worse. Trust me, they're going to finish 32nd. And so they'll get a new coach. Great. What's that going to do? Right? I don't think it's going to do a whole lot of nothing. So good for Luke. He gets gets paid. All that stuff's great, but it is an odd situation for me in the NHL where you constantly think a new coach is going to magically fix all your problems. Ain't going to happen. 833-401-1440 in our email inbox. You can text us or call us. 833-401-1440. It is the month of giving. We're having a fantastic start to the week. Now it's already Thursday. First week's almost over. I love it. But we're already at $25,000, which is great. So today we have a nice bid. We're actually just up to 4,500 from Jason. He went up to 4,500 on this package, which is a phenomenal package, a membership at the Glendale Golf and Country Club for the upcoming season, 2025. It's like you don't get these very often where you can do like a 1-year experiment. Is this what I want to do? Meanwhile, it's like you're a full-time member. Right? You get full access to the tee sheet as a regular shareholder. You get club storage, driving range. Also, all your immediate family members become social members at no additional cost. Access to the dining facilities, the pool, the outdoor pool is absolutely stunning. There's a huge green space around, so you play soccer, they kick ball. Well, they have lots of fun. They just run around too. And then there's 2 pools. There's a small little one for the real young kids. Or, the parent, you just want to sit there, dabble your feet in, no problem. And then there's a bigger pool with a diving board. Outdoor shower, of course, indoor showers as well. You can just sit by there. You got waiters. They'll bring you the drinks and food. It's awesome. So if you want in, 833-401-1440. We are helping out Christmas Bureau today. And also, Paulie currently has a steal of a deal on the order tickets tonight. Orders attack twice, row 17, Columbus in town. Also, Connor McDavid and the Gold Stick Night, where Connor McDavid is going to get a gold stick, amongst some other things probably, as they'll have a brief pregame ceremony. Puck drop will be about 7:14 tonight if you're a stickler, 7:14. And if you're at home, you're not going to the game, don't worry. You can watch the ceremony on TV. So. A few other texts coming in, 833-401-1440. Gregor, can you golf with other members? Well, of course you can. Yeah. You're like a normal member for the whole year. No big deal. Away you go. So tee it up, and that's how it works. A lot of fun. But hey, guys, looking at the Oilers' upcoming schedule, they play all of these home games. Do you guys view that as a positive or a negative? I always hear that going on the road is good. From Steve. Well, the Oilers have been a good road team, 8-4-1 this year. They're 5-6-1 at home. I think there are times where there's nothing wrong. Like they're on the road they're at home for 4, then they go out for 1, and then they're home again. Or maybe it's 3-1, and then they're home for 5. So, there is a brief road trip in there, but I don't think that it's too long of a homestand, to be honest. I think there's times where it's beneficial, especially right now. Now, the Oilers are 3-1 in their last 4 home games. So they're starting to trend in the direction that you want for your home games. Because the Edmonton Oilers last year had the second best home record in the National Hockey League. They had 60 points. So did the Rangers. The Colorado Avalanche led with 63. This is a really hard play. And keep in mind, the Oilers started last year 1-5. And then they turned it around and they only lost only went 4 games where they didn't get a point. In their final 35. They went 27-4-4 in their final 35 home games last year. Like, it was a hard place to come into if you're an opposing team. And that's where the Oilers have to get back to. No doubt. So. Hey, guys, with Hyman back, what happens to the rest of the lineup? Kapanen's going to go play with Draisaitl and Podkolzin. To start the game, they still have the Skinner, Henrique, and Janmark line, and Connor Brown is moving to the 4th line to start with Derek Ryan and Corey Perry. And I'm guessing I could see that 4th line spot being one where if you're going, you'll get to stay in the top 9. And maybe if you're not, you'll go down. That's how I could see it happening. I think they'll switch around a little bit, but Connor Brown is going to start there tonight for the Oilers. Defense pairings look the same. Ekholm and Bouchard, Nurse and Stetcher. Stetcher's fine after taking that puck to the ear. Kulak and Emerson, and Calvin Pickard will get the start in goal tonight. Calvin Pickard, since now his first start of the year against Chicago wasn't great. Like, the Oilers' first 3 games were brutal. He allowed 5 goals. Since then, he hasn't gone a game where he's allowed more than 3. He has a save percentage in 6 of his last 7 of .903 or higher. He's been more than what you'd expect from your backup goalie. And so he goes tonight, because that means Stuart Skinner gets to go on Saturday. And maybe, just maybe, there's a little extra motivation for Skinner to be like, oh, Armstrong, all right, let's see what you got. And that's my question to you, Oilers fans. We asked this earlier. From December 4th, because that's when the roster was announced, till February 10th, which Canadian goalie do you think is going to have the best combined statistics when we look at wins, when you look at save percentage, goals against, saves above expected? Who do you think? 833-401-1440. We are up to 4,600 from Tamus. 4,600 now on our month of giving package, courtesy of the Glendale Golf and Country Club. When we return, Mean Gene will talk about the Oilers. We got Livingston, Aaron Portsline in Columbus. Of course, if you just missed it, Luke Richardson, head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks, has been fired. Sorensen, their AHL coach, has been promoted on an interim basis. Later on, we'll hear from Spec. Also, GM of the Elks, Ed Hervey, will stop in today on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as the Oilers Nation YouTube, Facebook, and X, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game.
Bracelli hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy cone hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Didn't get a holiday bonus? At Wolf GMC Buick, we have the bonus you need. Get 0% financing on our most popular trucks like the Sierra half-ton crew cab during GMC's Canada-wide clearance. Or select up to $8,500 on a number of Sierras. If you're looking for heavy duty, we have that too. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra HDs, Yukons, and the all-new GMC Hummer EV. And seeing it's the holidays, a $500 bonus on select 2024 and 2025 models. But when the holidays are done, so are these deals. Get to Wolf GMC Buick today.
Black Friday continues at the Brick. Hurry in and save up to $3,000 off big screen TVs. Plus, save up to 65% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off bedroom, dining, and home entertainment furniture. Plus, the more you buy, the more you save, with up to $300 off select brand name major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
I'm making my list, checking it twice. And guess what? I'm giving Wilhock beef jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Wilhocking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Ho, ho, ho!
Call to place your pre-order today at 780-986-2537. The Junior Prospects Hockey League proudly presents the Power Winter Championship, taking over the Silent Ice Center from December 5th to 15th. This winter is all about silent ice, not silent night, as the rinks will be anything but quiet during the Bauer Winter Championship. This year's event will feature over 70 teams with more than 1,300 athletes from 4 different provinces competing for the championship. Be sure to catch all the action at the Silent Ice Center or online at silenticetv.com. For more details, go to jphlwinterchampionship.com.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
At Cross Mitsubishi, our legendary warranty is going even further.
Right now, upgrade to a 10-year, 200,000-kilometer bumper-to-bumper warranty on your new Mitsubishi.
Cross Mitsubishi will pay $1,000 towards your warranty upgrade, making it easier than ever to drive with confidence.
Visit Cross Mitsubishi today and secure your extended protection. 9605 34th Ave and at crossmitsubishi.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
325. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X, is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. It's warming up out there, that's for sure. Get your windshield wiper fluid topped up because you're going to need it. I'm going to go through a lot of it. It's sloppy roads right now. Sloppy roads. The Oilers have not been sloppy defensively as of late, getting very good goaltending. Even in that Colorado game, trust me, they gave up a lot of chances. Stu Skinner was great in that game. Pickard was solid against Utah. Skinner was fine against Vegas, despite what a few misguided people suggested. Best save of the whole game was his save on Thomas Hertl. Well, the Oilers had a lot of shots. They didn't get a ton of quality chances in that game. They only had 2 rebound attempts, and neither one of them got a ton of wood on it. Old school reference, but you know what I mean. Don't want to say a ton of composite. This doesn't really come off the tongue the same way. So, let's see. We'll update you on our month of giving. We got one major package, one small one as well. But first, let's get to the oil report brought to you by VolvoCarsEdmonton.com, where right now you can lease a Volvo 2024 XC90 for 0%. And also you can save an additional $10,000 on any 2024 demo models, but only until the end of the year. So get a great deal right now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com as we welcome in Jean Principe from Rogers Sportsnet. Oilers getting set to take on the Blue Jackets tonight. And Jean, I look at, and maybe it was pre-planned, and it was already scheduled start for Calvin Pickard. But I kind of like the fact that they're going Pickard tonight. So Stuart Skinner can get a start against St. Louis, and Doug Armstrong, who just overlooked him, as well as Evan Bouchard and Zach Hyman for the Four Nations Cup.
Yeah, great motivation. I think that coach has, when I think that, for example, Salt Lake, I never really gave it any thought. I just assumed that it would be Stewart playing against Salt Lake and Calvin playing against Colorado, an old team. You know, the guys are second half back to back. You in theory you think, despite the fact Colorado's got a lot of injuries, that Salt Lake or Utah Hockey Club would be the easier win. But Calvin made a great late save. I want to say Nick Schmaltz, but I think I might be wrong on that. In that game, to give Edmonton a chance eventually to win it in overtime. And I thought, if anyone's pinpointing Stewart for the Vegas loss, then I think that's like playing darts with their eyes closed. I don't think that, Stewart was the issue. The one rebound was the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins late, where he made a nice play, or the one best rebound of the couple that you mentioned, where Nuge lifted Petrangelo's stick quite nicely and just was probably a couple inches from getting over the pad of Aiden Hill. But, Aiden probably was motivated too, thinking he might be on the team. So there's all kinds of inner motivations, but I like the one, not to mention the offer sheets. That's going to be some kind of motivation for either everybody or somebody on Saturday night. So yeah, and Calvin's been really good. I mean, it's not like you're putting in a guy who's X amount of levels below your starter. That's a different story. So I guess technically it's the back off in Tarasov that's in for Columbus. It should be fun, right? Ceremony, Four Nations has been announced. Like them, don't like them, whatever motivation you need or use. I like it going into tonight.
The McDavid ceremony, it's a pretty big deal. He's going to get the golden stick. He'll become only the fourth Oiler to have 1,000 points as a member of the organization. He's only the 99th player ever, but the fourth quickest to 1,000 points. Only Gretzky, Lemieux, and Bossy just beat him by a few games. And like Connor he's done a lot of real special things, and I know he doesn't really like getting these on, but I get the sense he's like anything. He understands why you can't be all surly about it. Like it's okay to take a breath and be like, hey, I accomplished something good here. Had a lot of help from people. We'll get honored. And I won't be surprised at all if McDavid has a 3 or 4 point night tonight.
Yeah, speaking of motivation, I think that'll be certainly part of it for him tonight. Yeah, I think part of it is just age, Jason, and maturity. He's almost now a 10-year vet of being in the National Hockey League, and he has had a number of accomplishments. I remember when he scored his 50th, and we had decided that, if he scored his 50th, we wanted to do it right then and there, because if the team were to go on and lose, and especially if it's, let's say, a 2 or 3 goal loss, and it's pretty hard to sort of manufacture that energy and that excitement. As it so happened, they were trailing on a late goal against. I'm like, gosh. I mean, he's so not wanting to talk about himself to start with, and now they've scored late. But, I think, he kind of understands the moment, and not that it's any different when it's necessarily live TV, but I think he gets it. It's immediate. It's now. He's not going to be able to sort of pull back this reaction, and he knows that there's, I don't know how many people watching, but lots.
Yeah.
And he wants to get it right, and whether you want to be a role model or not, and I think Connor's more than comfortable being one. He is, and kids and young people and even older people listen to what he says and how he handles situations. So I think he's become better and better at being okay with enjoying the moment. And I'm sure tonight he'll want to kind of get it over with and get to the game, because he's been a part of so many ceremonies and ceremonial puck drops and all that kind of stuff. But tonight it's about him and his family. So be nice. His parents will be here. His wife will be alongside. So it's great. He should get and enjoy a warm round of applause and likely a standing ovation, I hope, for everything that he's done for the team, the organization, and the city.
Jean Principe joins us, host for the Oilers. Of course, they take on the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. Calvin Pickard gets the start. He's been really good. Tarasov, their backup, so it's kind of the battle of the backups. And Tarasov's been averaging. He's allowed 32 goals in his 8 starts, so just over 4. He's actually 4.04 goals against per game. And like Edmonton, their home record has gotten a lot better here because, especially coming off their best home game of the season against the Rangers. And it kind of mirrors a little bit of what they did last season. And when I look at the return of Zach Hyman, who he knew exactly, he's like, well, it was only 5 games, but it was 17 days because of the extra break. And then, if there's the guy who's probably got the biggest burr in his bonnet could be Zach Hyman, who, basically for 19, subpar games lost his spot on that team.
Yeah, I'm with you. And, Zach was wonderful this morning. Maybe the timing is good in that he's so pumped up and excited about returning to the team after missing those amount of games and those amount of days, as you mentioned. That's first and foremost. Who knows what, I don't know if Zach had scored 7 goals in the last 5 games, just picking a number, and got hot. I don't know. Would that have made a difference? Would he have had an opportunity? I understand, and was asked this morning of Connor about role players. It's not just a list of stars. It's about people who fit. Brandon Hagel and Anthony Cirelli. I think if you asked, maybe not John Cooper, but if you asked most hockey fans if those guys would have been on the team back in the summer or at training camp, they might not have been top of your head. Whether that's the case for Canadian management, that's a different story. But for sure, like if you're Zach, he scored 54 goals, you had 70 on the season, you get to game 7, you have a really good playoff. It's not like you fade, you score in big games, and then you kind of hit a bit of a turbulent slide, a slump, and you're out. Now, I don't know if Doug Armstrong and company would say that they didn't need another 54 goal scorer or even one. I'm not sure, and I'm not trying to be coy, because they are trying to put together the best team. It doesn't matter who you coach. Even when I coach my daughter's soccer team, we're trying to win. We're trying to put the best players out there. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but we're always putting what you think is the best player, best combination, best pairing, whatever it is, best goaltender out there. So I'm curious to hear more about how they determined it. But for sure, if you're Zach, you're kind of like, well, you couldn't have done anything more. And I can't believe that a bit of a slide to start the season. I mean, wouldn't you want McDavid with Hyman on your line.
Yeah.
I think if you're so, Connor, I thought said it well. Everyone's going to guess, and you can pick all kinds of different lineups and players, but in the end, they picked what they think is the best team to win. So we wait to see if Canada is the best out of the four countries.
Yeah, and the odds of him getting on the team as a late addition are still high. Sadly, someone's probably going to get banged up between now and February.
I love what he said this morning too about it. Like Zach is, he's on the all nice guy team, all-star every year, and I just like what he said on the mark. Mark Spector, brought to you by Booster Juice, mentioned it this morning. In the scrum about how. Well, guys do get injured. You still got some games to be played. And he's like, I hope nobody gets injured, and I hope I don't get an emergency call. And I wish Canada the best. And, I believe him. So we'll see. I'm sure he's on speed dial if something were to happen to one of those players that was chosen ahead of him.
Jean Principe joins us. Jean, what started out as day-to-day who should be ready for the weekend is now turned into 10 games and no timeline for his return. Tonight's the 10th game for Arvidsson that he'll miss. And obviously he ain't going to play Saturday. That's 11. There's no timeline now. He's not even skating with the team. Like, this is started out as something that didn't seem that serious. It is now clearly serious.
Yeah. I think sometimes you might get kind of you don't get lied to. I want to be clear on that, but you don't get all the information as we continue to do lower body and upper body. And we're not always sure unless it's very clear what someone has done, even though they say lower body, oh my gosh, you saw how his ankle, bent, or his knee on knee hit, or whatever the case might be. With Arvidsson, he did, I feel like he wasn't on this trip, but he was on the trip through Canada or Eastern Canada when they went to Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, because I think at that time head coach Chris Knoblauch felt like, day to day, as you said. I remember before he left and they left, and I don't even think he was on this. I'm trying to think, but I know I'd heard he had skated a bit on his own while Zach was also skating. And so, it's a bit of a mystery in listening to Team Sweden's office or staff. They feel like he will be back, and that's still another, oh my gosh, like two months basically. So I'm sure he's not going to be out that long, but you don't often get something like this where it's day to day, and now you even caught me off guard. I've kind of lost track. 10 games, which is what, probably about, are we at a month?
Yeah, they're at a month. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big injury for something that was originally expected to be a game or two. We have not really seen Arvidsson, so I'm not sure what's going on, but you hope that he's okay soon, so we can get him back in the lineup here for the Oilers.
The Kasperi Kapanen on waivers, looking like a pretty astute move right now. And probably one of the reasons why they claimed it was because they knew that Arvidsson was going to be out a little bit longer than originally expected at that point. One last one, when you look at this Oiler team, and now 8 of their next 9 at home, and you got like 4 or 5 of those games against teams that, you should conceivably beat. And then there's obviously a tough game. You got Vegas here next week. I want to get your thoughts quickly on the Broberg Holloway, because there's, and how you think that reception is going to be on Saturday.
Well, I feel kind of bad for them, but I think they're going to get booed. I think fans, I don't think it's going to happen necessarily the entire night. I remember when Doug Weight ironically came back with St. Louis, and Doug, as you know, wonderful guy. He was really hurt that he was booed so loudly back then when he signed, I think it was 8 years, $40 million, which was, huge money. I think it was 2001, like you're talking 20 plus years ago. I think that maybe, I don't know if it'll be a different boo. I think the Broberg boo will be more like mad at him, and the Holloway boo, if it's possible to differentiate, will be almost like, hey, why didn't you stay, boo? Because I think Dylan was well liked by the fans. Philip was a little more unknown until the playoffs, but I think that they will get that. It was kind of funny. Real quick, I know you got to go. We were in Dallas for when they had the kind of a Hall of Fame moment for the Stars, and Brendan Morrow was inducted. And it so happened Doug Armstrong was staying at the same hotel just across the street, and I saw him, and he goes to me, "You better not be seen with me for too long. It might not go over well for you." And I said, "Yeah, I never thought about that, Doug, but you might be right. A guy connected to Edmonton with the guy who made the offer sheets may not be a great combination." So business is business. They did what they did, and the Oilers did what they did. And so it'll be interesting to see. It might be a tough go around for those two kids, but you know what? Onward and forward. The Oilers have done what they've done, and they've got a really good team. St. Louis is trying to find theirs. A shame that they're not a part of it, but that's the way business is. And as we know, sports is a business, and we find that out on occasions like that.
Gino, we'll see you at the rink tonight. Enjoy it.
Thanks. Take care, Jason.
That's Jean Principe from Rogers. Sportsnet 341 will update you on the month of giving. Get some bids in on that when we return. Gregor, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds,
You're listening
live
to Jason.
betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta, new players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Every week, all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Santa sweat, dripping on the tree, due to that new furnace that you got from Legacy.
Legacy Heating and Cooling wants to help you prepare for Santa. A nice warm stop during the cold night is the gift you give him. And Legacy can help with no payments and no interest for 1 year on your festive new furnace, because warm homes get better presents. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Everybody now, Santa sweat, this is really weird. Santa perspiration.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
A mullet for Marvin, a bowl cut for Barry, a pompadour for Peter, who's now really quite hairy. After this Christmas, all the men wish they could get some hair restoration from Dr. Vance Elliott.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. While you're Christmas shopping, consider giving yourself the greatest gift of all, a full natural head of hair. I know the results will be life-changing. Want to make this the year you get your mojo back? Book a free first consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
A career in the public service is better in Alberta. Better wages, lower taxes, better job opportunities with our thriving economy, better chances for advancement, plus a better future with new investment in healthcare and education. Public service, it's better here. Learn more and discover new career opportunities in the public sector at alberta.ca/betterhere. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:45. See that UNC has interviewed Bill Belichick for their head coaching position. Interesting. I could see him probably going to college, a little more job security, and do all the recruiting and You never have to, because there's no chance he's ever going to be as good as a record as what happened in New England, just for a variety of reasons. It's not going to happen. So I could see why you might look elsewhere. Well, let's see, should be good. So
He's so close though. 26 away from Shula.
yeah, which would be 2, maybe 3 years, depending
Yeah.
on the team, right?
Yeah, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I didn't even think he'd interview. That's cool.
Well, I wonder if he just does the interview just to interview. I don't know. Like, would he turn it down? Like, it's not like UNC's like a great football program.
He hasn't had to interview in a long time, has he?
Yeah,
Just
so,
get some practice.
That's what I mean. Exactly. No, honestly, I'm not even saying that facetiously.
Yeah.
I mean it seriously. So
maybe let NFL teams know, hey, I have options. Come get me.
yeah, maybe. Let's quickly update you on our month of giving. We got great package courtesy of the Glendale Golf and Country Club. It's a membership for the upcoming 2025 golf season. It allows full access to the tee as a regular shareholder would have. You also have club storage, range is included in the dues. Also, all your immediate family becomes social members at no additional charge. That gives you access to all the dining facilities and the amazing outdoor pools. They have 2, a little small kiddie pool, and then one with the diving board, huge green space area. So if you've been thinking about it, this is your chance to try it for a year. Just see if you like it. It's amazing, right? Talk to your spouse. Hey, this is a huge opportunity. Right? We'll see. Something tells me you'll like it, though. Let me just tease you on that. And currently, it's at $4,600. So there you go, $4,600. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440, and our email text line. Also, Paulie has a steal. If you want to go to the game tonight, looking for some last-minute great seats to help support the charity for the month of giving, he has it at $300. They're lower bowl, row 17. We're not even at face value yet. Lower bowl, row 17, where the orders attack twice for tonight. So if you want to go, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to the racing report now, brought to you by Cantork. They offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, flange maintenance equipment, and more. Cantork.com. As Colin Livingston joins us once again. Colin, how you doing, man?
What's going on, my man?
Ooh, lots happening right now. Lots happening. The coach is getting fired again. It's always their fault. But let's get to F1. It was interesting. There's the broadcast, highly produced. The people who are talking about the debacle caused by the FIA. And their statement, the demands of the race director become a lot less onerous due to the support structure, yada, yada, yada. Did you see the response? What do you make of it?
I hate this whole thing. Yeah, I mean, the point, everyone's got an opinion. At the end of the day, I'm very fortunate to be involved in racing. I get to go to the track. I still get to put my helmet on, but, my involvement ends basically here within Canada. When it comes to Formula One, I'm just a race fan like everyone else. We all have opinions, but there've been a lot of new people coming in, watching Formula One, getting into racing. And I just want to make sure that they understand when they're watching the broadcast, when they're watching Drive to Survive, when they're watching the little bits of information that kind of stream out, understand very, very clearly that we're not getting the whole picture, and especially when things don't happen in real time. So it's easy to judge, or it's easy to make an opinion on something based on the little bits of information that they give us. Formula One is really known for playing audio that doesn't match the scenario on the screen. So they'll show a driver, kind of struggling in a corner, and then they'll put some audio that didn't actually happen at that time that, could have been from 5 minutes before, to kind of, make more drama, relating to another driver. So, last weekend was such a mess. There were penalties that were so extreme and so late coming. There were the ongoing battle between the FIA, F1, and the drivers it's getting beyond ludicrous, because as we talked about the last couple of weeks, they've removed a number of race directors, and the president of the FIA, MBS, has been really digging in, and it's almost as if he's turning the FIA into his own personal fiefdom, where he is the ultimate authority. The things that that I want to talk about, I wanted to make sure, outside of being a fan, I have a number of friends who are actually FIA certified stewards. They actually work as officials. They go behind the scenes and they know what happens in these exact rooms. So I also, pick the brain of a couple of friends. I won't mention their names because I don't want them to get in trouble, but even they're in agreement. As a steward, you've got to be very impartial. But the things that these guys are doing, and the fact that MBS, as the president, is personally getting involved in a lot of the decisions, is just plain wrong. So, over the course of the weekend, so many different things happened, but they started before they got to the track, and the FIA released a statement saying, people are talking about the race director, but just know we've changed the way the race director position operates. They've got a lot of support. It's not a real big deal. Basically undermining the race director and saying that the drivers and the teams don't know what they're talking about, which was followed by an absolute disaster of a weekend.
Yeah, well, it was terrible. They left the mirror on the track, and then they didn't stop it until there was 2 tires cut, right? In Sainz and Hamilton. Now, I'll be honest, should that have just been caution quicker so they can run and have somebody pick it up and away you go? That seems too easy, or is that not normally what happens?
Hindsight is yes. They should. The second, it's a judgment call, because when there's debris on the track, the series will take a look, and any series will take a look at the likelihood that it'll be hit. If it's offline and it's way out of the way, the likelihood is very low. But this was on the front straightaway, and this is where, when drivers were making overtaking attempts at Qatar, everyone was passing on the outside. So the one car moves to the inside. It was Valtteri Bottas, who just happened to get unlucky enough. He hit the thing, didn't cause any damage to his car, but when he did, this mirror just went everywhere, and the carbon fiber from the housing ended up cutting 2 different drivers' tires. But even once, Hamilton cut his tire and he was limping around, Sainz cut his tire, they waited until these guys went a lap down before they actually threw the caution. So it was really strange timing.
Looking ahead to this week, there's lots of lasts going on. It's a last race for Lewis Hamilton with Mercedes, ends his 15 years with the team. Sainz will his last race with Ferrari. Hulkenberg's last race with Haas. Ocon's already out of Alpine. So you look at them; they're all they're moving to different places. Hulkenberg to Sauber, Sainz going to Williams. Obviously we know where Hamilton's going, but. Do you think Perez, Horner said we're going to support him, his comment, we'll fully support him until the checkered flag drops in Abu Dhabi. So is that me reading between the lines? Is that just him adding more drama? What do you make of Perez and Red Bull?
Everything that was released this week says that this will be it for Perez. And frankly, if it isn't, they deserve everything that they're going to get, because he has really disappointed the team. I mean, it's one thing, again, for me as a race fan to be able to say that, not as a special advisor to the team, like Helmut Marko would say. But I mean, even on the weekend when they were running the sprint race, he had to start from pit road because they decided, he qualified, he didn't get out of sprint qualifying 1 again. So they decided to turn his car into a test car. Right. He had to start from pit road. He had Colapinto behind him. He sat when the green light started. He sat there for 3.5 seconds. And even Christian Horner said, we don't know what that was, because, everyone in the world of racing knows green means go. Then during the race, he was actually up in the points. He was running, I think, as high as 5th.
Yeah.
And under caution, as they were coming back to start, they were on their build up to speed, and he spun himself out again. So, took himself out of the point. So if this is actually it. This will probably be it for him in Formula One because there's no seat for him to go to in 2025. Everything said that they've talked about offering him an ambassador role similar to what they're doing with Daniel Ricciardo. But, in the driver's press conference that was released today, he's still saying he's driving for the team in 2025. So who really knows?
Well, that's what he says because he's under contract to do it, right? But that doesn't mean he's actually going to do it. So it's just I'm interested by like this is a guy who's pretty good driver for a long time, although maybe he's not that good. Maybe he's just with a really good car. So we'll see. Will there there's not obviously there's no drama in the there is the constructor series, of course, but there's no real drama in the driver series. There are some points, so even like 5th and 6th for Haas. And what does it mean, if anything, for Kick Sauber to finally get their first points of the year?
That's just pride. They are going to finish last. The fact that they actually registered points might mean that they actually get paid out a little bit more of the prize money at the end of the year.
Okay.
But those guys ran very, very well for cars that are technically the worst on the grid. Like, Bottas was running up front. He got caught up in an incident. Zhou, he managed to score some points, not just like 10th, he finished 8th. And was holding off Carlos Sainz at the end. So it was, Lando Norris at the end. So, I mean, it was impressive to watch that, when they actually get the cars underneath them, the guys show that they can still drive. But yeah, the big fight this weekend is Ferrari versus McLaren to see who takes the constructors. Red Bull has been officially eliminated from contention.
Colin Livingston joins us in the Cantork Racing Report. You look at, and so that'll end at the off season there. It's obviously entertaining. Is there anything in the off season for Champ Car or NASCAR that if you got to be in charge, you would change?
Can we talk until 7:00? I can tell you all about the things I'd change in NASCAR.
Your top thing, you get one. Like if you could only change one, what's the number one?
If I could have my magic wand as king of the universe for a day, I would get rid of the playoffs in NASCAR.
Oh,
yeah. They make no sense. They don't create any excitement. They, and they showed, towards the end of the year, especially with some of the penalties and some of the games that the partner, like the teammates were pulling to help or to hurt other teams.
Right.
It's just, I've never liked it. So that's what I would do there. For, Champ Car, IndyCar, I would definitely like to see the series travel a bit more. Do some out of country races. I mean, we obviously have the one race in Toronto, but I think, it's a really good product. If they could go back and add, the European races again, or Australia, like used to be done in the Champ Car days, Mexico, they even raced in Brazil at one point. Get some coverage, become a global series and become a viable, competitor to Formula One. Not that the audience would ever migrate from what F1's doing, but get the thing on TV, get a better network. I guess that's a few things, but yeah, I mean, the racing is awesome and the budget is next to nothing compared to Formula One. And I'll tell you, aside from the look of the cars, if you put them in front of relatively inexperienced fans, even experienced fans, they won't be able to tell the difference. They can't tell the speed. They don't know the budget, and the racing's so much better.
Yeah, I'm with you. I it's like bang for your buck and close from an entertainment value for sure. Colin, great stuff, man. Have yourself a good week. We'll chat with you next Thursday.
Sounds good, man.
That's Colin Livingston, the Racing Report, brought to you by Torque. We'll come back. We got some bids. We're up to 400 now on the tickets. We'll get to that. And we're up to $47.50 for the golf package, courtesy of Jason. So $47.50. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 in our email inbox. Let's get to the comment. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Stop in right now until December 14th. because you could save up to $225 on a set of 4 select tires, including Goodyear, right now at Fountain Tire and fountaintire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers are in action tonight, hosting the Columbus Blue Jackets. That one gets going just after 7 o'clock down at Rogers Place. We got pregame coverage for you here on Sports 1440 with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson immediately following the Jason Gregor Show at 6 o'clock in the NFL. Week 14 kicks off as the Lions host the Packers. That gets going at 6:15. And in the association, the Toronto Raptors hosting the OKC Thunder. Tip-off 5:30 from Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. You also have the Nuggets in Cleveland. Wizards host the Mavs. Hornets up against the Knicks. The Suns in New Orleans. Spurs host the Bulls. And the Warriors taking on the Houston Rockets. Veteran quarterback Trevor Harris returning to the Rough Riders on a 1-year extension. The 38-year-old recorded over 3,000 passing yards, 20 touchdowns with 9 interceptions in 12 games last season with the Riders, his second with the organization, and 12th in the CFL. And Dallas Cowboys All-Pro guard Zach Martin season officially over. As head coach Mike McCarthy saying he'll undergo ankle surgery. With that, his career could be over, as he did mention that 2024 could be his last. Also, some news from the NHL. Chicago Blackhawks have fired head coach Luke Richardson, with Anders Sorensen becoming the interim basis. He was with their AHL franchise in Rockford. Richardson finishes with a record of 57, 118, and 15 in just over 3 seasons. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll get to the Oil Report, ask 5 questions, and be joined by Aaron Fortsline of The Athletic to discuss the night's opposition, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Checking off your gift list can go more smoothly when you give smoothies. From now till December 31st, buy a $30 Booster Juice gift card and gift yourself with any regular size smoothie for free. Try the new salted caramel smoothie made with vanilla oat beverage, vanilla frozen yogurt, and decadent caramel. It pairs magically with the salted caramel booster ball, bursting with Score Toffee Bites, cinnamon, maple syrup, cashew butter, and more. Happiest of holidays from Booster Juice. Download the Booster Rewards app today.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Let's rock. Edmonton's biggest New Year's Eve party is at On the Rise.
Featuring Edmonton's #1 party band, the Barkhells. The Barkhells.
Get ready to dance the night away as we ring in 2025 in style at OTR.
Tickets include a 3-course meal, party favors, and bubbly at midnight.
This party sells out every year.
Oh, and if you don't have anyone to kiss at midnight, Marco is always available.
OTR's New Year's Eve party.
Tickets at ontherockyeg.com.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area. Prices exclude delivery.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches. We provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-0880 or visit silentrides.ca.
For half a century, that's 50 years, GS Construction has been building the foundation of Edmonton and the surrounding area's infrastructure. But let's make one thing clear. This milestone would never be achieved without the dedication of our incredible team. Together, we've built the underground infrastructure that keeps things running smoothly, from the existing to the new underground systems. It's 50 years of hard work the team has put in to make it all possible. Here's to another 50 years. For more on our team and our work, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Ain't it beautiful? There's electricity in the air. Carrie Dahl here for Volvo of Edmonton, where the Volvo XC40 and C40 fully electric vehicle is now in stock, along with a great selection of Volvo T8 hybrid models. Experience the trusted Volvo quality and technology to power into tomorrow at Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Experience the difference. Volvo of Edmonton.
It feels like the cost of everything has been going up and up and up. That's why Encore's electricity rates are getting really low. With our rates falling lower, you can feel carefree about your bill. A low rate means lower stress. Switch to a new fixed-rate electricity plan with Encore by Epcor and save. Get the lowdown and stay carefree at encore.epcor.com/lowdown. Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll free.
Portions of this hour brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. The Canada-wide clearance is on now at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation. See more at gmcoffers.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.406. Gregor, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Man, there's always a time in the studio where there's somebody in the mall and they come and they have one of those huge kind of trailers and they're pushing, and it's like the whole studio vibrates. And it's like there's an earthquake. It's obviously not an earthquake. But it's every time. And like, I don't know what they're pushing on some of those, but my goodness, like it shakes. I don't know, Cons, if you feel it on your side, but man, here it's just over, like, start vibrating. It's nuts.
Yeah, once or twice a day. There's a lot of mall employees just moving stuff around.
Oh, and there's some big, obviously moving some big stuff. Taking it very serious. I like it. 833-401-1440 is the text line. Month of giving. Hey, we've had a great first half of the show. We're at 4750 on our month of giving auction item today, courtesy of the Glendale Golf and Country Club. It is a membership for the 2025 golf season. It allows full access to the tee, so like your regular shareholder would have. You get the club storage, range fees, everything included with it. Your immediate family will become a social member at no additional charge. And that gives you all the dining facilities and the outdoor pools. They have two, a small one and a big one. It's fantastic. So that's unreal. So 4750. If you want in on that, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 is the number to call. I like it. I love it. Now, let's also, we have Scott is up to 400 on the tickets for tonight's game. Sweet pair of seats for that. And you know what? We're going to end that in 20 minutes. So give everybody lots of time to get to the game. So if you want in, 833-401-1440. And I think what we might actually, we got for Mayfair Lumber another pair. So we'll just do both of them and the top two bids will get it. So want to come in? Feel free. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440.
We actually had another pair come in, Gregor.
Well,
complicate things a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll do the two for sure. Can't guarantee the other one. We'll do the two for sure. And because we got a few bidders on that. So let's go in the room now. Brought to you by Action Electrical, where at Action, they are an independent division where they have the service division. Of course, technicians are all fully trained, uniform. They got the new bucket truck, has the working height of 45 feet. So need anything fixed, they can do that as well. ActionElectrical.net. As the Oilers taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight, and the top line, which was their top line all of last year, is reunited. Will it feel so good? We'll see. As Knobloch just talks about Hyman back with McDavid and Nugent Hopkins.
It's nice for him to get into a position where he's comfortable in, he's familiar with, and those three have played very well together, you know, throughout their time together. So that's my hope, is that they can pick up where they left off. And obviously there's some rust that he hasn't played in a couple of weeks, but they're, you know, obviously three really good hockey players that are hopefully can give us a little push. And, you know, we missed them the other night where, you know, overall against Vegas, where I thought we played a pretty good game and, you know, tough to find a goal. Well, having 50 goal scorer in your lineup definitely helps those situations.
Yep. I think it should. And you get Hyman back. He's obviously going to want to go on a roll. I was looking up the one thing I'd mentioned earlier that about the Oilers, and we look at all the shot totals and everyone's like, man, the Oilers are getting a ton of shots, and wow, that is great. Well, here's the one or few big differences about the Oilers this season. And it really comes down to, yes, are they getting a lot of shots? Yes. Are they the same quality shots as they were getting last year? And so far, no, not the case. So the Oilers last season in inner slot shots, which are the most dangerous area to shoot from, they were first. They were second in slot shots and second in the NHL in rebound shots. So, and no surprise, they're a really high scoring team, right? Power play, 5-on-5, all very good. This season, the Oilers so far are 23rd in rebound shots. They're 13th in inner slot shots, and their slot shots are close to the same. They're 5th, right? They were second last year. They're 5th. Not much different. But their inner slots have went from 1st to 13th, and they've gone on rebound shots from 2nd all the way down to 23rd. And that, to me, is a concern. And so I asked Knobloch, what does he see as the reason, and what can they do to get more inner slot shots and rebound shots and, rebound chances?
Second opportunities. One is getting forwards to the net, and the onus is forwards getting there. The other one is the defenseman getting shots there, and usually defensive responsibility getting pucks to the net. It's not usually a slap shot. Slap shots usually take too long. The opposition get in the shooting lane. A lot get blocked. It's ultimately getting puck there through a wrist shot, through deception. And last 2 weeks, I think we've been focusing on that, generating those type of chances. And we saw it immediately. I don't forget what a game it was. We scored 2 goals at home, ultimately from a D wrist shot, traffic going there, whether it was a deflection. Saw it the other night in with Pot Colson's goal, stuff like that. But it's goal scoring is not just on the forwards, not on the defense. They have to work together, and a lot of things have to go together.
Yeah, there's quite a few things, right? Defense for sure. That will help. And I was looking, like their power play, we've talked about it. Their power play is way down on shots. And not just because obviously they're down on opportunities, but I'm talking shots per 60. So if you do that, then it's per power play. It's not, it's not how many power plays you're getting. It's what the average that you had last year per every chance you had. And the Oilers, yes, they're having fewer power play opportunities per game. Not down a massive amount, but their shots per power play are down significant. The last 5 years, they've been the best. They were either first, second, or fourth the last 4 years. Anywhere ranging from 60 shots per 60 up to 67. They're at 41 right now. It's not close. That's a 33% reduction. And I think that's a part of why their power play hasn't had as much success. And so, you know what? Zach Hyman's shot attempts, everything, they're down. Draisaitl, the 2 guys who have been their best goal scorers haven't been getting as many shots. So now their power play, I thought, against Utah was great. Now, they didn't need their power play really against Colorado. Didn't get a ton of chances, but that's okay. And then they didn't get one chance against Vegas, so can't say anything about that game. But, tonight, if they can get some opportunities, it would be great for their power play to really contribute to victories. Because outside of that Utah game, it hasn't been a big factor this season, which is a positive because, the Oilers aren't in a terrible spot. They're 30% of the way through the season, and their power play's really only been impactful in one game. If you gave me odds at playalberta.ca on how many more games that their power play would be impactful over their next 25, I'd say higher than 1 all day long. I'd bet Connor's money, Declan's money, everybody's mine. I'd be pretty confident in that. So I guess in a way that's a good thing for the Oilers, but they clearly need to get better there. Connor McDavid. First of all, actually, let's talk about being named to the Canadian roster, but also being the lone Oiler representative on Team Canada.
Yeah, I mean, a really exciting group to be a part of. I'm extremely proud and honored to be a part of that group, represent my country. With that being said, obviously, no Zach, no Boosh. I think it speaks to the talent that there is across the country in this game. It's a tough team to make, obviously, and as I said, it speaks to just how many great players there are, across Canada.
And the potential to play with Sidney Crosby.
That'd be special, obviously. Lots been made about this already, but yeah, going to be exciting to be on his team, maybe on his power play, on his line, whatever it may be. But there's so many great players on that team. It's just going to be great to be out there with anybody. So, yeah.
Like, honestly, if you look at the Oilers' first power play unit, Makar's on the point, McKinnon's on it, McDavid's on it. Who are the other two? You got to have at least one bright shot, don't you? Like, is it Braden Point? Pretty good chance. And, like, Crosby's pretty good. Would Sidney Crosby be the quasi-net front presence? Like, honestly, you don't have Hyman. Who else would it be? I'm curious who's going to be on the first unit power play for Canada. Crosby's always been good at deflecting pucks. So does he do it? Guys move around. The guys will do any role on a team like that. Make no mistake. But it's just, Reinhardt. Maybe Reinhardt. Probably could be Reinhardt. So. But I wouldn't rule out Sidney Crosby there at all. So it could be pretty good. And I look at where, and then the other one is, hey, Greg, do you think their first unit takes a lot of the minutes like Edmonton's first unit? Good question. Like, Edmonton's first unit is dominant. There's no question about it. I don't know if the first unit on a newly formed team that has a bunch of first-line players would suddenly be going 2 minutes or even a minute 4. I could see it being close to a split. Because, you look at who's on look at how many guys, if they're not on the first unit power play, would be on the second unit power play and are pretty damn good players. So I'd be surprised. Trying to remember back. I don't remember at any other one where there was one power play that really took a significant amount of time. Right? I'd be a little surprised by that. So, and so like because McKinnon, if he lines up on the left side because he's a right shot, and McDavid's on the right side as the left shot, Makar's obviously working the point. Braden Point, Crosby, Reinhardt. Like, Reinhardt's been pretty good on the power play. Right? He's got the most power play goals by a Canadian the last 5 years in the NHL. The only guy in the league who has more is Leon Draisaitl here in Edmonton. So I would think Sam Reinhardt's on the power play, isn't he? So is it Reinhardt, McKinnon, Crosby, and McDavid? Makar? And so that means Braden Point isn't on it. Now, guys aren't going to get upset per se about it, but so if Braden Point comes out of my second power play unit, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not too worried. Like, he leads Canadians in power play goals this year. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if he's even on the first unit. So, Konechny's another guy I think who's a second unit option for them. It's a pretty good team. It's a really good team. So, guys, what about Bennett? Sam Bennett doesn't really play the power play, so they got enough guys. I don't see Bennett doing it at all. So, but Reinhardt, I think, has got to be a good bet. But think about it. Between Reinhardt, Crosby, and Point, One of them is not going to be on the first unit power play. It's a pretty good team. And it might be Crosby. Who knows? I did talk to Connor about him and McKinnon and, playing together. And he's like, yeah, there'd be a lot of speed. And he goes, yeah, we both like to carry the puck. And I'm like, yeah, well, Lemieux and Gretzky both like to have the puck. They played pretty well together. And he laughed. He goes, yeah, you're right. I think we'd figure it out. So it would be, it'd be fascinating. Gregor, what about Marner? No, Marner's not on the first unit power play. Are you kidding me? Well, is he a better passer than McDavid? No. And he's not a shooter at all. No, Mitch Marner's on it. He might get on the second, but he's definitely not on the first. No chance. We're up to 48.50 on the golf package now. I love it. Keep it rolling up, man. Getting closer all the time. 833-401-14. This is still a bargain of a deal because we always like to get close to face value on this for the month of giving. We're helping out the Christmas Bureau today. Quick break. We'll come back. We will get more on, we'll talk about Columbus and just how come they've been so good offensively? Defensively, you thought they might struggle, and they have, but they've been excellent offensively, even without Johnny Gaudreau. What's happening? Is it going to continue? Longtime beat reporter for the Blue Jackets, Aaron Portsline, joins us. And why the Blue Jackets, especially in Columbus, man, they've beat up on the Oilers as they did earlier this season. So maybe a little payback tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. We'll get to all that and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta, new players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet every week all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Weather forecast? Ugh. Savings forecast? Cha-ching. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 at Fountain Tire until December 14th. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
A delicious new deal is at Tim's. $3 for a classic breakfast sandwich when you buy any size hot or iced coffee. You heard that right. Just $3 for a classic breakfast sandwich with Canada's favorite coffee. Terms apply. See app for details.
It's time for Tim's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave and 118th.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
425. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, we got 3 minutes left for the tickets. Paulie has it at $4.50 right now at playalberta.ca. And Jason went at $49.50 for the golf pack, courtesy of the Glendale Golf and Country Club. So if you want to get in a final bit of the tickets, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. As we go around the NHL now, brought to you by McDonald's. Stop in Thursdays. Guess what? Fan day. $4. Well, not stop in. You got to do it through the app. $4 Big Macs, $4 McChicken, $4 filet of fish. Only at McDonald's. And tonight, a little pregame ceremony as Connor McDavid will receive a golden stick for becoming the fourth member of the Oilers organization to score 1,000 points. He's also the fourth fastest in NHL history. 659 games, just shy of Mike Bossy. And then, of course, Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky, who did it in 424 games. Ridiculous. The only guy's quicker than McDavid. He's the 99th player all time to just reach 1,000 points in their career. By the end of this season, he's probably going to sit 67th in points. It's a ridiculous start. He's only a decade in. He probably has another decade left in his career. I firmly believe, and I've said it all along, that he'll get to 2,000 points. And I won't be surprised if he ends up at 2,200 plus. It's nuts. Aaron Portzline joins us, a longtime beat reporter for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And AP, speaking of scoring goals, the Columbus Blue Jackets, they're Mr. Entertainment right now. They're scoring all over the place. They're like a top 8 team in offense. It's unreal. I don't think anybody saw this coming. Where are all the goals coming from, Porty?
Yeah, well, keep in mind they were shut out 2 nights ago, too. I think everybody gives them a pass. That was a tough game for both teams to play. It's the kids. The best part of this for the Blue Jackets is it's the young guys that are doing it. It's the players that you, when you undertake a rebuild, nobody knows that better than Edmonton. It does. Connor McDavid is, of course, the exception. It does take a lot of these guys a couple of years to get traction in the league. And, Kent Johnson has been an absolute revelation this year. They're a different team with him in the lineup. He was hurt for a while. Chinikov not playing tonight, but you'll see Marchenko, who's developed into pretty quickly a really good player.
Yeah.
Plus 16, which these are numbers we're not used to doing here. Cole Sillinger has become a real solid. It's already his 4th NHL season. Hard to believe. Just a swell. Voronkov is a 6'4", 230-pound forward who's got soft hands. We said before the season, this probably isn't going to be a year where the Blue Jackets are too excited to look at the standings. So far, so good. But you want to see that wave of talent really start to blossom. And boy, they have. And on top of that, the veterans Monahan and Werenski have just been really, really good as well. So, yeah, it's coming from a lot of different places.
Yeah, well, now it was interesting. Speck was chatting today with Elvis Merzlikins, and Chinikov's name came up because Merzlikins, when he practices, he uses a glove that's much more protected. It's bigger, it's heavier, it's got way more protection in it. And because he joked about Chinikov shooting like 99-mile-an-hour wrist shot, he's got an absolute bomb. And I didn't know that about the guy. Like, you shoot the puck that hard where your goalie's using a glove with extra padding in practice just because they want. Because goalies get like 150 shots in practice, right? And they get like 30 shots in a game. Right. So I see why they. And Calvin Pickard told me he changes his glove. He gets a new glove and blocker probably every 3 weeks to a month, just because of practice, because it wears down so much. But Chinikov and these young guys, like how's like Fantilli's a teenager, for goodness sakes.
I didn't even mention.
Half a point guy, but Marchenko is a point a game player right now. Aaron, and like it's not like a lucky streak. Like, he's 24 years of age. He's old enough where I think he's got some experience, but more importantly, he's got more man strength, and he really seems to be the guy who's blossomed. When I watch their games, he's the guy who seems to stand out the most.
Yeah, keep an eye on Kent Johnson tonight. The thing with Marchenko, he has gotten stronger. He's heavier on the puck than he's been. I think Sean Monahan's made a really big difference to him too. They've not had Boone Jenner's been the number one here. I think he would even tell you he's probably better as a winger. It has not been a pretty picture down the middle in Columbus. You had Monahan to the mix. Fantilli, you mentioned, is sort of on the rise. To be able to play again, you all have McDavid, so everything else seems less impressive, I know, but a 20-year-old centerman playing almost 17 minutes a night and playing second line center, half a point a game. I think he's -1, pretty respectable. And the kid is they've had to continually talk him out of his frustration for not producing more. I'll remind you on Chinikov too. He's the guy that when he was drafted, even a lot of the draft experts, it was unbelievable TV. I think he was, I think 21st overall.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
he gets drafted, and you see a lot of guys going, "Whoa, papers! Like, who's this cat again? What's the name?"
Yeah.
Like, he really was off a bit of a lot of people thought was a reach by Jarmo Kekalainen, but he's good player. If he can stay healthy, that's becoming an issue. He's out again right now. He's not even on the trip, to my knowledge. He may have joined them today. But yeah, it's been fun to watch too. Dean Evison deserves a lot of credit as well.
Evison's come in, and what do you feel is the biggest difference that he's brought in as a head coach?
Well, I think you have a coach now that does not work in fear of the players. I think he is very much his own self.
Okay.
I think there's a little more he's not as outwardly combustible as John Tortorella was.
Hard to do.
But he's super, super competitive.
Okay.
If you remember him as a player.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that drive there. There's the no BS approach. It should be said that when the new GM, Don Waddell, talked to some of his veteran players about what's going on, what do they need out of the next coach, those players wanted a tough coach.
Okay.
They wanted someone who could push them. This is Werenski, this is Kuraly, this is Goodbranson, Jenner, veteran players, respected veteran players who were saying, in a lot of cases, Werenski, in a lot of cases, it sounded like, can you get Tortorella back? Because as much as people think players can't wait to get rid of Tortorella, he was beloved here by most of those guys.
Yeah.
And they love having a guy that doesn't flinch when something needs to be taken care of. It is taken care of. It's not allowed to fester. The room is run as the room should run. And I can talk about this all day and have, but the way that this organization has handled, and Evison's a big part of it, has handled the Gaudreau tragedy.
Yeah.
It has been really, really amazing. Jason, you've written about grief, and we've talked about it. The way that he's handled this room full of young players, many of them experiencing grief for the first time, has really been so healthy, painful. Sure, it's going to be that, but beautiful as well. And it's allowed them to compete, not just Evison, the veteran players as well. Meredith Gaudreau's incredible eulogy gave them, I think, sort of emotional permission to have fun with hockey again.
Okay.
And you've seen that. You've seen all of that. And it's been a very, very interesting start to the season.
Well, it's amazing how, a tragedy like that can really rally you. But at the same time, I think all of a sudden the pressure that the internal pressure that players and everybody, parents on themselves, am I being a good parent at home? Or, everybody, the pressure you put on yourself internally is usually a lot higher than anybody externally is going to do for you. And I wonder that, it's like, okay, all the pressure, we're NHL players, but then it's like, yeah, but like, we're just NHL players. And like, one of our teammates lost his life. And if I don't score for 5 games, that's not pressure. Meredith trying to raise her 2 kids without her dad.
Right.
So I just wonder if it allows you to put your situation into a little bit more perspective and enjoy it rather than focus on the stress of it.
Yeah. That's something I think just the other day, even Goodbranson said, is that this has to be fun. It has to be fun. it has to be the joy of your life to play this game. It's a hard game. It hurts to play this game when it's played well. You better be able to have fun with it. I think there's absolutely been that element of it. And it seemed really healthy when I think a lot of people were wondering how are they possibly going to get through this season? How can they put one foot in front of the other? And I think their priorities have been readjusted. Again, I think some of the young players, this is the first time, it may be the first time that somebody that they've known has died.
Yeah.
And certainly somebody that close to them has passed in a lot of cases too. So it could have been their demise, and everyone would have understood. Everyone would have understood it. Instead, it's so far has become this sort of galvanizing in a way that truly honors the player who always had fun at the rink.
Aaron Portzline joins us, longtime beat reporter for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're in town tonight to take on the Edmonton Oilers. Blue Jackets 5-1-1 in their last 7. The only loss, of course, was that emotional game 2 days ago in Calgary. Now they got to, kind of pull up their socks. It is still McDavid and Draisaitl, and even though the Oilers maybe aren't as consistently dominant offensively as they have been, the one thing Columbus is all the excitement about their offense, Aaron, man, they're giving up a lot defensively. Oh, yeah. And Tarasov has got like a 4.04 goals against average, and his save percentage is .860. How concerned are they there? What is it about that's kind of allowed them not to be able to fix up their defensive zone?
Yeah, so I think when you look up front, you look at some of the very young players. These guys are drafted offensively gifted for many of them. I think that's been Fantilli's frustration too, is sometimes the last thing that falls into place is their defensive zone coverage, their ability to play without the puck. I think the bigger issue with them has been their back end. It's stabilized quite a bit since Dante Fabro has come here and paired with Werenski so well. But Evason wants to play a very aggressive style. And I think there's been a real challenge for some guys, not just the young guys. Damon Severson's really struggled with this. You can usually tell 2 or 3 shifts in if you've got good Severson or bad Severson on the night. It's just been all over the map, where sometimes the defenseman goes in and the forward does not read that same way that the defenseman does. So the coverage is either non-existent or late, rotating back for the defenseman. Seen that a lot. Elvis Merzlikins, who was a major question mark coming into this season, has been, I think, better than most would believe, looking at just his save percentage. He's seen a lot of stuff, made a lot of 10-bell saves, a lot of high danger saves. Tarasov has really, really struggled. There was early in the season, it looked like a stretch where he was going to take over the net from Merzlikins. And now it's been a couple of weeks, at least since maybe 3 since he's played a game. So this could be a bit of a challenge tonight for him, but I would suggest he'll see the puck early and often tonight against the Oilers.
How's Columbus penalty kill?
Right now, in its current state, is absolutely awful. They've allowed a power play goal in 10 straight games, which is a franchise record. Strange that the numbers were jotting out there. Just until the other night, they had a 6-game point streak. 5-0-1. Werenski had an 8-game point streak, the longest ever for a Blue Jackets defenseman. Johnson had scored in every game he played this year. And in the midst of this is a penalty kill that literally gives up at least one every night. The question I have wondered regarding the PK is what has become of Sean Corrali, who used to be such a vital part of that PK, hasn't really been on it since opening night. And they're at like 60% now over the last 10 games. So major issues there. You mentioned how much they've scored. They've been able to score enough to overcome their own mistakes and score enough to overcome some early deficits. But I think everybody recognizes that their defensive play and the penalty kill has to be better, or this 500 stuff can't be sustained with those numbers coming back the other way.
Aaron, the Urasek trade, how was that received in Columbus?
I think it was sort of a mixed bag. I think that people who had watched him closely, I think, have many of the same concerns that the Blue Jackets did about his skating. A lot of baby giraffe moments when the puck changes direction quickly. Straight line, fine. Offensive skill, fine. Big shot. You can see the draw there. I think, most of these guys drafted outside the top 1, 2, or 3 guys have some element of their game that needs some improvement, of course. For Jiricek, it was always the skating. I don't think it's gotten better in the 2 years since he was drafted. If anything, it may have regressed. So there was some frustration there. Now you have a new GM who does not look at this player as someone who needs to justify where he drafted him. He just evaluates him on the merits. And so Jiricek to him was nothing special, nothing untouchable. At the same time, he did not go into the trade market with Jiricek saying, I have to trade this player. This was not a Pierre-Luc Dubois situation where the house was on fire and this had to be remedied. Not at all. This wasn't even a Line situation this summer where the player wanted out. Frankly, the organization was ready for the player to move along as well. And so they were going to take the best offer for him. Jiricek would not have moved unless they got enough in return. And I think Waddell is delighted with the return. He likes Damon Hunt a lot. I've heard some good stuff about him from scouts. They love the first-round draft pick. That's really the anchor of the return. And they also got a second and I believe a third and a fourth in future years.
And lastly, so I guess they're super happy then. They bring over Fabro. How much is Fabro playing well, or how much is it just the fact that Werenski's out of his mind right now and Fabro's just along for the ride a little bit?
Well, here's how ridiculous Dean Evison can be. The other day he said that I could play with Zach Werenski. Come on. Come on. Fabro's a decent little player. He is. I think they were delighted he ended up on waivers because they almost traded for him weeks earlier.
Yeah.
He's played well. It is the Zach Werenski show on the back end, though, clearly. Yeah. They have a game tomorrow night, too, so maybe they dial it back a little bit, but I would guess he's in the 26, 27-minute range.
Not much.
Depending upon how the game goes. And just next level this year. You've seen him, Jason, for the last several years. He is a different player. Now he's dropped about 8 to 10 pounds. He moves even better than he did before. There's a confidence there. But yeah, Fabro's worked better than anyone else has worked with him this year. They had Severson up there. They had Provorov up there. Now they've got the lefty-righty on both of their top 2 pairs. I think they feel pretty good about it. Fabro's been here like 3 weeks and he's plus 11.
Yeah.
It's been quite a run, but this is a guy, Fabro, who played with Roman Josi in Nashville and now gets Werenski in Columbus, pretty good shake there for Dante Fabro.
Yeah. Well, hey man, good for Fabro, but that when you have a guy playing as well as Werenski is, it just, the other partners say, just don't get in the way. Here we go. But man, Werenski's been unbelievable for Columbus, and he is. He's played phenomenally well. And you look at Columbus with all the tragedy that has happened to that team. It seems to galvanize a lot of young guys playing well. Obviously, they'll have to improve their defensive game eventually, but they compete hard. And tonight should be an entertaining game, Porty. And speaking of health, man, how's yours?
Oh, thanks. Doing very well. We're a little more than 7 months out from surgery. Was in St. Louis a couple weeks ago, honored to present a Stan Musial Award to my donor who happens to work for the Blue Jackets, Lindy Knoll. Great night in St. Louis. Great to see her honored as such. And she's doing well. I'm doing well. Things are much different now than they were a year ago, I believe, when we spoke a couple times.
Yeah. Well, but it's great to see, man. I'm happy. And I know obviously with the, you got to be safe and travel after having a kidney transplant like that. So maybe next year we'll see you back on the beat on the road.
Yeah. I look forward to it. I've made spotty trips here with permission. Not yet cleared for the full tour, but hoping to get there soon. Thanks,
awesome, man. Well, it's great to hear. It's good to talk to you again, Aaron. We'll talk to you again soon.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Aaron Portsline. Unbelievable. That's a great story, eh? One of the employees at with the Blue Jackets, became the donor as Aaron Portzline received a kidney transplant. And then he's doing great. So that's an awesome story. Quick break. We'll return. We'll get to 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Everyone's on the nice list this December. Even you, Sierra. We saw you shaking your ass on the dance floor.
Until December 31st, purchase $100 worth of gift cards at OTR and get a bonus $20 GC for free.
That's like 10 free hot dogs on Mondays.
Or 10 free tacos on Taco Tuesday.
How about 30 free wings on Wednesdays?
Or even 4 free drinks during happy hour.
However you divide it up, it's $20 free at On the Rocks. Calm down, Sierra.
On the Rocks, Jasper Ave and 118.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience.
Good chance. So let's discuss that. Bill Schmidt joins us. I got these two teams 11-1, taking on 11 type of matchups very often. 9-3 Green.
The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day.
Nine-
Your faves like the
best
Big
years of
Mac,
his
6-piece
absence.
McNuggets,
Even
McChicken,
though
or
people will say
filet-o-fish with
we
medium
don't
fries
care about
and
that
a
guy.
medium fountain drink.
Yeah, well, that was
Plus fast.
that is kind of
Participating
fascinating,
McDonald's
but
restaurants
it'll
in
pique the
Edmonton,
interest.
Alberta, and the surrounding area.
Popping on again,
Spicy
Jason.
delivery.
Thanks for having me.
Black Friday continues at the Brick. Hurry in and save up to $3,000 off big screen TVs. Plus, save up to 65% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching Love Seater chair. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off bedroom, dining, and home entertainment furniture. Plus, the more you buy, the more you save, with up to $300 off select brand name major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Oodle noodle origin. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle. Does your bank do local? We do. In 2024, Vision Credit Union returned over $34 million in profit shares to our members. How did we do it? Each year, we return about 75% of our profits to Vision members as profit shares, which means that money is invested locally. It's just one of many ways that Vision supports our rural Alberta branch communities. Bank where your community matters. Bank with Vision Credit Union. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Prime Fasteners and Tools, your trusted source for the latest Milwaukee products and deals. Prime Fasteners and Tools offers power tools, accessories, storage solutions, and the fasteners you need to get your project done on time and on budget. Whether you're a contractor or a weekend warrior, everyone is welcome at Prime Fasteners and Tools. For the best Milwaukee experience, visit Prime Fasteners and Tools, located at 12304 184th Street.
4:50. Welcome back. Yeah, you don't want to wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow, month of giving, it's a different day. Today is the membership at the Glendale Golf and Country Club. It was at $5,050. It's now to $5,200, courtesy of Jason. So great name, by the way. It's up to $5,200. If you're just joining us and you're a golf fan, this is an unbelievable package. You get the 2025 golf season membership at the Glendale. It's a full membership that allows you full access to the tee, same as a regular shareholder would have. You get all your club storage and the golf and the driving range, everything that is included. You also, your immediate family, become social members at no additional charge. All the dining facilities and the outdoor pool area, which is there's a small pool for the real young toddlers, and then another pool, diving board, everything, huge green space. Kids are playing soccer in there. They play football. It's, just lounge around. It's unreal. So currently now at $5,200. If you want in, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. A huge shout out to the Glendale for donating that. Course is in unreal shape. Like if you're a golf, like it's a good course, challenging course, and the pool is just such an added bonus. The food's great, so you'll have lots of fun. Most of the members are off, and there's a few shady ones, Smitty and a few others, but for the most part, they're all pretty good. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick, where saving you more. That's what they look for. They're always doing it. You can continue on Black Friday savings through this week, where you can get up to $3,000 off of big screen TVs. You can get up to $1,600 off of sectionals right now. The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. The Oilers in action tonight, of course, taking on the Blue Jackets. What happens in this one, and who scores the Oilers' first goal?
Yeah, I think Edmonton's, their defense game's pretty good. Columbus, their offense is good, but their defensive game isn't good. So I think Edmonton wins. I think there's going to be some goals tonight. I see like a 6-3 type of game, maybe an empty netter. Who scores the first goal? Well, McDavid gets his golden stick. I will say Matthias Ekholm, fresh off of being announced to Team Sweden. Unheralded, unexpected. I'll go off the board a bit. I'll say Ekholm.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Oilers continue their, better defensive play, only allow 1 and find a way to score 4. First goal, Zach Hyman in his return to the lineup. Nice little classic Hyman goal from the side of the net from Connor McDavid. Question number 2 for you. Any issue with any of the selections for Team Canada at the Four Nations face-off?
I have a major issue with any of them. Like, there's not a player on there you're like, oh my goodness, how did he make it? I do. If I had to pick, I'd love to know. Sit down and tell me what in 19 games made Zach Hyman suddenly worse than Bennett, Konechny, and Hagel. That's what I just tell me why. And I don't have to agree with it, but I'd like to know the reasoning. That would be it to me.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there might have been some favorites played with the coaching staff, guys that they know. But like you, nothing too crazy. Like I would have liked to have seen maybe Zach Hyman or Bouchard get a spot, but this is going to be a good team. It's going to be competitive, and I look forward to seeing some of the players that maybe I don't get a chance to watch quite as much, see what they can do, because Travis Sanheim, I saw some people going after him. I want to see what he can do playing on a top-end talent team like this, so we're really looking forward to it. Can't wait to hunker down in Feb and watch this one. Question number 3 for you. It's going on for a few days now. Major League Baseball throwing out the idea of the golden bat, which would allow teams to select a player to pinch hit at any point of the game. So, let's say Shohei's, struck out the inning before, but the game's on the line. They could bring him back for the golden bat. Would you be in favor of Major League Baseball taking this rule on?
This is the most ridiculous rule change I've ever heard. Like, what? No. And I'm all for looking at, I loved what they did with the, speeding up the clock. That was fantastic, because that was just something that was becoming an issue. I don't hear anybody saying, you know what? I really wish our cleanup hitter could suddenly just magically move into the 8th slot in the 9th inning. Like, I get the theory of it, but it kind of, I don't know. It really, like, it's a massive altering of the game, right? To me, it's a massive altering not only of the game, but of the rule book and everything for extra opportunities, home runs, RBIs, etc. So, yeah, I can't get behind that. I liked a lot of the other changes they made in baseball last year. I thought it made it way better, but I don't like that one.
I love it. I think it would be awesome, but it would take away that random, batter in the 7, 8, 9 spot that can play hero, because he's obviously going to be taken out for the cleanup hitter, someone lower down. And I mean, I think that's what makes baseball very cool. I like this rule because I don't think it'll ever happen. I like to say they should do it because deep down, I think they never would even consider actually making it happen. But it is December 5th. We haven't seen a signing yet, a big name signing like Soto. And we're talking baseball. So good to keep it in the buzz in the sporting world. Question number 4. We know Justin Tucker going to go down as one of the best kickers in NFL history. But this season's been tough, 19 of 27. And when it's past 40 yards, he's just 9 of 17. Ravens obviously play cold weather games. A lot of those in the division. We know in the playoffs, that's going to be a factor. Do you think that the Ravens should consider making that tough decision and change their kicker?
No. I think it's a one-off. I believe he's still, like, when you look, he's missed some of them not because of lack of distance. Like, if he was coming up short, then I think I would be all over it. But he's like, for a kicker, 35 is not old, right? Well, how was Morton? 42, 43?
Yeah, playing in a dome, right? With the Saints towards the end.
In a dome, you're right. But I think now, I don't know what's his contract like. I guess that might be it. Is he the highest paid kicker in the league? So can you say, hey, we can get a guy who's maybe pretty close, but maybe way cheaper? I don't know. I wouldn't. To me, I'd be very. I don't know. I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. So, yeah. I don't have it. I wouldn't do it.
He's under contract through 2027, which would take him to age 38.
Yeah.
But the guaranteed money is gone after 2024. So, yeah, I mean, it worries me for sure. Not to say that he can't get back there, but you get into these late season games, if they have to go to Arrowhead and they need a field goal, with what we've seen from him from outside the 40-yard line, it hasn't been good. So I think you got to ride with them, because I don't know who's out there in terms of free agent kickers that'll do better. But I just thought I'd throw that question out there because it hasn't been good for Tucker, who is one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, because I read an article, I want to say a month ago, and the guy did a really good job of explaining just the difference of why you're off and rotating just slightly too much than he has in the past. So I think this is something that's easy fixable. So I wouldn't do it.
Final question. Today's International Ninja Day. So when it comes to martial arts, ninja, kung fu movies, what's your favorite?
Go ahead.
There's a few. I guess I think Beverly Hills Ninja with Farley would have to be one that, it's a comedy, but I'd have it pretty high up on the list. And I think I know which way you might go, so I'll take another one.
Mm-hmm.
Growing Up, Three Ninjas was
all right.
A silly movie, but always enjoyed that one. And to round out my top 3, Mortal Kombat.
To me, I'm going with Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. At the time, it was such a great movie at that time in my life to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The ending was great. He's on one leg. It looks like he's going to lose. And then it comes up with a kick that you've never seen before. And you're like, oh my God. But it was actually good just learning the lesson, from Miyagi. Wax on, wax off. Most young guys remember that. And it was a really good just kind of lesson that it's not always a sprint. And as you get older, you realize that. There's not a quick fix. I'm just going to learn how to fight super fast. And so I will go with Karate Kid. So.
Did you watch the Netflix series?
I know. I know. No.
Heard it's good, but I haven't got into it either.
Yeah. So there you go. Quick break. Hey, thanks to Paulie and Leroy for their bids on the tickets. We really appreciate it. That's great. And thanks to Dale for sending his in. Super nice. It wasn't Dale. I got to get the name. My bad. We'll get those. Chad. Thanks, Chad. Come back. We got Spec. Ed Hervey will join us, talk a little green and gold as the Oilers get to set take on the Blue Jackets. By the way, if you're going to the game, the ceremony for McDavid is before the game. So you want to be in your seats at 7. If you're watching at home on TV, it will be televised. If you want to watch the Golden Stick ceremony as they honor Connor McDavid's 1,000th point. Here's the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. And they're serving tidings of caramel joy. Try the salted caramel smoothie and booster ball that will surely put a jingle in your step. Available for a limited time, so visit a Booster Juice today.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers back in action, hosting the Columbus Blue Jackets down at Rogers Place Puck Drop just after 7 pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson gets going right here on Sports 1440 at 6 o'clock. Victor Arvidsson, who hasn't played in nearly a month due to an undisclosed injury, has no timetable for a return. That came from head coach Chris Knobloch. Chicago Blackhawks have fired head coach Luke Richardson with Anders Sorensen in line to become the interim head coach. He was with the organization as head coach down in Rockford. Richardson finishes with a record of 57, 118, and 15 in just over 3 seasons in Chicago. Elsewhere around the NHL, the Jets take on the Sabres, Canadians host the Preds, Red Wings meet the Senators, Flyers, Panthers, Avs, Hurricanes, the Islanders up against the Kraken, and the Flames taking on the St. Louis Blues. Veteran quarterback Trevor Harris returning to the Saskatchewan Roughriders on a 1-year contract extension. The 38-year-old recorded just over 3,000 passing yards, 20 touchdowns in 12 games with the Riders last season. And Dallas Cowboys All-Pro guard Zach Barton's season is over, as head coach Mike McCarthy said he will undergo surgery on a right ankle issue that has been troubling him for some time. And in the NBA tonight, you do have the Rockets and the Warriors, Kings, Grizz, Raptors host the Thunder, Hornets taking on the Knicks, and the Nuggets taking on the Cavaliers. And in the NFL, Week 14 does kick off tonight. Lions, Packers going from Detroit. That'll get going at 6:15. Coming up in Hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Edmonton Elks General Manager Ed Hervey. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Checking off your gift list can go more smoothly when you give smoothies. From now till December 31st, buy a $30 Booster Juice gift card and gift yourself with any regular size smoothie for free. Try the new salted caramel smoothie made with vanilla oat beverage, vanilla frozen yogurt, and decadent caramel. It pairs magically with the salted caramel booster ball, bursting with Score toffee bites, cinnamon, maple syrup, cashew butter, and more. Happiest of holidays from Booster Juice. Download the Booster Rewards app today.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta, new players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet every week all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Weather forecast? Ugh. Savings forecast? Cha-ching. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 at Fountain Tire until December 14th. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area. Prices exclude delivery.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 furnace service company for the holidays because we don't charge overtime rates, including 24/7 emergency. Oh, I need service, please, Santa. Tell me your price. My furnace is naughty. Would you please make it nice? No, I can't wait to find it under my tree. Please send me service from Legacy. No overtime or emergency rates during the holidays or ever. That's how you service your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Are you watching the interest rates these days? Of course you are.
Paying less interest leaves money in your pocket. That's why St. Albert Dodge is happy to tell you that right now they have 0% financing on virtually all new 2024 models. Hundreds to choose from: Jeep Compass, Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, and Wagoneer, Dodge Durango, and Hornet, Ram 1500, 2500, 3500, all with 0% financing. Why pay interest? Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 3-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, December 11th to 13th, 8 a.m. Live on site and online. On offer, core construction heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids start December 6th. On-site viewing starts December 7th. Timed auction starts December 8th. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5, welcome back, Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely Thursday. As, hey, NFL tonight, of course, Oilers taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. McDavid stick night, the golden stick that he will receive for his 1,000th point, fourth fastest player in NHL history to get to 1,000. Something tells me it won't be the last award he's getting as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. Probably getting a silver stick for 1,000 games played in a few years because, yes, I firmly believe Connor McDavid will be signing a contract extension with the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll go from there. I think there's a chance that once he signs that, you pretty much book it that he's going to break Gretzky's record for most points as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. Still needs about 640-ish, give or take. But he'll get there. Now, we'll see where we get to see a final hour today of the month of giving. We're now up to, Tamus came in. He had 5,300, and now Jason's back in at 5,500. As those two go back and forth. If you want in. Got a few other people asking about it, so hey, don't hesitate, get in. We're getting closer to face value here, courtesy of this. It's an unbelievable opportunity because you can basically try the whole membership trial for a year, see if you like it. Because you get a full membership for the upcoming season at the Glendale for a year. That includes all of your green fees, your club storage, everything. You also, because they have the outdoor pool at the Glendale, you get to be your immediate family members or become social members. They get all the dining facilities, the pool, and they have 2 outdoor pools there. Small little one for the kids, and then a bigger one, a big green space around. It is outstanding. Loads of fun. Kids are playing volleyball and soccer, kickball, you name it. They're playing out there, having loads of fun. Same with the adults. So we'll have a great time. And we're helping out the Christmas Bureau today. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 if you would like to get in. Now, let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. As GS, huge in the community for over 50 years. They do a lot of charitable donations. Love to get back. And they'll continue to do so, and thank their staff for a great year from GS Construction as Mark Spector joins us. And Spec, you're telling me about the conversation you had with Elvis Merzlikins and, the extra padding he wears in practice, just because, you're getting like 5 times a shot in a practice than you would in a game. And so you got extra padding. And I did not know that Chinikov fires 99-mile-an-hour wrist shots.
Yeah, I know. Jody Shelley was in on this talk too. He was talking to Merzlikins, and I did not know that Chinikov had that wrist shot either. But something we all should know, right? When you think about it, like I say, a goalie will get 30 shots in a game. I suppose he gets some in warm up, but Merzlikins was saying, I said, what do you get in practice? Like 150 shots? He goes, well, he said, if you stay out with the guys at the end of practice, the guys that are working on their game, the guys that are doing extra drills, you can get 250 shots in a practice. So it kind of does make sense. The guy get like maybe some practice pads that have a little more padding in them, like at least a glove. So anyway, I thought it was interesting.
Well, Calvin Pickard told me that he changes his glove and blocker every 3 weeks to a month because they just get broken down so quickly for the amount of shots that you take. And he said, and you start to feel it in your glove hand, because he was showing me a new one. And then he showed me one that he had. He goes, yeah, I had this one for 3 weeks. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, now I didn't put it on, but you can just see how much, less spongy it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you sure would think that they can build you gear that that holds its integrity for more than a month. Oh my goodness. But maybe not, man. Who knows? It's I think, like, I'm not, Pickard knows what he's doing. This isn't me telling him how to use his equipment, but some guys go through a pair of skates every 3 weeks. Some guys go through a pair of skates every 2 months, and then you look in guys' stalls, Jay, and I don't think there's a guy in the Oilers who has a pair of shoulder pads that's less than about 3 seasons old, right?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, no, there's some guys have had him since junior, because your shoulder pads are, you may, like, you're not blocking many shots with your shoulder pads, right? Like, they want them there for movement. It's not, it's, you wear them, but it's not like there's a ton of protection in your shoulder pads at the end of the day.
Yeah, right. And I mean, there's nothing, there's certain gear that breaks in worse than others, right? Even as a totally bottom of the ladder player like me or you, it doesn't matter. You put on a pair of shin
above
pads.
The ladder on you here. Let's just not.
Yeah, never mind. You put on a pair of brand new shin pads out of the store, and the things feel awful for 3 months before they're any good to you. So anyway, listen, these guys know what they're doing. Hell, Craig Ludwig wore shin pads for about 10 or 15 years, or since North Dakota or something. I remember seeing those old pads. So they know what they're doing. It's their gear, their body.
Yeah. No, it's very true. Mark Spector joins us here in Sports 1440. So Spec, Zach Hyman returns. Obviously was super excited about it. Hasn't sat out 5 games in a row in quite some time. It's 17 days for him, because they had the little extended break in between. There kind of maybe came in a good time for him, because he sat out long but didn't miss as many games.
Yeah.
He comes back in, and there's still, Connor McDavid said, he goes, I think our defensive game's actually been fine all year long. But their offense just isn't where it needs to be. Inner slot shots, rebound chances. Those are the areas that this group has to improve on.
Well, and I think it's Zach Hyman's type of game that can open up the offense here. Like, obviously Draisaitl and McDavid score the way they score, more often from a little further from the net than Zach Hyman. What they haven't got enough of are the goals in tight, the second rebound goals, the goals in the blue paint, and his presence, right? Zach Hyman, we all know how many goals he's had taken away because he's always in the goalie's face. His presence down low and his effectiveness causes defenses to have to, they got to mark him. They have to. Yeah. They can't be out at the flank on Draisaitl when Hyman's scoring goals at the other corner of the crease, right? So, they haven't scored enough goals, and I'm not blaming Zach Hyman for that, but his production is the biggest sort of factor in the fact that they have not been good enough offensively. He starts scoring, I think everybody starts scoring.
It'll help, no question, because forwards 3 through 12 on the Oilers are have the fewest goals in the NHL of forwards 3 through 12. So
wow, really?
Yes, not good at this juncture for the Edmonton Oilers. They got to get going there. There's no doubt about it. The other thing, Spec, you go around the room. Hyman's a guy who, a lot of people thought he was right in the running for that team. Some people thought he had a job, and I guess he lost his job. And it's interesting. He lost his job, based on 19 games. Whereas some guys the two goalies for sure, Aiden Hill and Binnington, got the job based on what they did in the past, not necessarily what they did this year. It's kind of interesting the different dynamics they use to pick the team.
Well, first of all, there's a lot more choices when you're only looking for 4 or 5 right wingers than there are when you're looking for goalies. The Canadian goalie pool isn't that deep. So that would be one factor. But I agree. Like, I feel like I'm with you on that to a certain extent. I think 3 seasons in a row averaging 39 goals a year probably should have been enough to get Zach Hyman a job on that team. I'll be honest with you. I don't, so he had a bad 20 games. I mean, I kind of feel the same way. I don't think that Bouchard, for instance, has the body of work. I think Bouchard was only a Team Canada level player for like the last 4 months of last season, in my opinion, on a regular, steady, everyday basis. He wasn't in the first 20 this year, and that cost him the gig. But, geez, I think Hyman's a veteran guy who's proven his worth and his ability to score. I'm a little surprised that they didn't give him the benefit of the doubt as well, Jay, for sure. Yeah.
I look now, maybe it was pre-planned just because of scheduling and everything, Spec, but I don't, maybe it's I like, the fact that Skinner's not playing tonight. He played very well his last 2 starts, no question. Colorado, Vegas, I thought he had no problem. He allowed 1 goal in each game. I have no issue with my goalie. Now it's Columbus. And then on Saturday, Doug Armstrong, the GM who didn't pick him, comes to town. And, Spec, there's just certain little times where maybe there's extra motivation. And I wonder if that's there for that.
Well, there's certainly motivation with St. Louis as well, of course, because they got a couple players that they basically poached off the Oilers roster. So, yeah, you know what? First of all, I think you're right. Like, I guess I should ask, you've asked the question. Next time a guy runs into Dustin Schwartz, obviously the goalie coach, the head coach, and the goalies, they figure out ahead of time who's going to play when. How long ahead of time would be my question. Like, when do they decide this Columbus start? A week ago, a month ago, 2 months ago? I don't even know. But I'd say to you that coming off the starts in Colorado and Vegas, 2, buildings where you're expecting your goalie to be pretty busy, I have no problem coming home playing the backup in the first game. I think that's probably pretty smart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that part I don't mind. And Pickard, I looked at his numbers, man. Outside of the Chicago game, Pickard's his other 7 starts, he's made in those 7 starts, 6 of them he's had a save percentage 903 or above. He's never allowed more than 3 goals. He's given you exactly what you'd want. We had Kevin Woodley on, said he had quality starts, which means the ceiling isn't there, but just quality starts. He has like the league high amongst backups at 88.9%. So he's done very well. And now Columbus, funny enough, Spec, is a very challenging group offensively. They are scoring a ton, and Zach Werenski is out of his mind. I'm telling Oilers fans, you watch the game tonight, watch Zach Werenski. He's playing great. He could be right now. He should be the leader in Norris voting today. He would win it. He's been that good.
Wow. Well, I haven't seen him enough, right? He's always been a good player, but I haven't seen him enough this year. I look forward to seeing his game. Because everyone's talking about him, and now he's on Team USA for the first time. He's moved into that echelon. The Americans got some pretty good defensemen these days, man. I'll tell you what. Like, they got Quinn Hughes, they got this Werenski, they got Hannafin. I mean, there's a good crop there. America's pretty good these days. I'm a little concerned about that. It used to be easier to beat them than it is now. But anyway, I think, listen, he's kind of going in concert with the Columbus team that after all these years is finally starting to put a group of players together here. I heard you talking to Porty earlier, Jay, on your show, and now there's 5 or 6 guys you're interested in going to the rink to see, and it's been a long time since they've had 5 or 6 young guys that were all good, that were getting it done. They've had a few young guys that you looked at and you thought, man, is this guy ever going to get going? Dev and guys like that, remember him? They got a nice crop of young kids there, and it's going to be hard not to start making the playoffs and winning series finally in Columbus.
Yeah. No, you know what? All their young guys, it'll be a while. Eventually they'll have to play better defense. There's no question. But you know what? They're an exciting team right now. They play hard. That's the one thing they do. The Oilers they're going to have to work tonight, and they should. They've got a lot of skill. Like the Oilers defensively, like they did give Colorado something. I'm going to say they gave nothing. Stuart Skinner was very good in that game. They didn't give Vegas very much at all in that game. Like there's the one great save he made on Hurdle for sure, and the goal I have no issue with. It's a bang bang unlucky goal. Well, unlucky in the fact goes across, come back, you can't get reset. It's pretty hard. But I look tonight for them. 8 of their next 9 are at home. Yep. The Oilers last year were the second best home team in the NHL. They are 3-1 in their last 4, but they still, even going 3-1 in their last 4, they still sit 26th in the NHL on home ice. They got to start rolling. Yeah, most of their poor play in the first 20 games in the first quarter, their worst games were at home. I don't think their road record was that bad in the first quarter, Jay. Home record, it's 8-4-1 this year. Sorry? You mean last year? Last year they started out 1-5. They were brutal for their first 6, and then they won 27 of their final 35 on home ice. Yeah, so that's the kind of where we're heading here. I really see the signs of a team that's starting to play well. I really do. Right? I see, Skinner, his last 5 games, his number, like 4 of them, he was over 930. Defensively, they just roll through Colorado and Vegas, give up 1 goal in each barn. I see the lines are stabilized a little bit. I think the last thing to happen here is to get some of these guys who haven't been scoring to get going. Hyman, first and foremost among them. They need a little better depth scoring here. But I'm seeing, I don't know what you're seeing, but when I watch them play, they're starting to look more like themselves. They're controlling games. Even when they're in their own zone, it's not a fire drill these days. It's a little more keeping the other team in the perimeter. So honestly, I like the way they look in the last, say, 10 games. So they are poised to pull this together on home ice, and the timing couldn't be better because they got a nice run of home games here. They could make up let's look at it right now. The homestand starts. The first home game in December comes, and they're 9 points behind Vegas. Let's see where they are when it's the first home game in January. Yeah. Spec, we'll see you at the rink tonight. Have a good one. All right. Thanks, Jake. There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. CC has come in with a bid of $57.50 now. So CC's up to $57.50 on our Glendale membership. I love it. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Also, right now, we got a pair of tickets to tonight's game. Just, hey, it's an early Christmas present to give away. You want to go to the game? Text in something that's going to make Connor Halley smile and include your name and your email. Something that will make Connor Halley smile. There's no time on it. We'll give you 5-6 minutes. Take your time. What's going to make Connor Halley smile? 833-401-1440. We'll return with GM of the Elks, Ed Hervey, and more on the Oilers later.
For years now, we've been warning Edmontonians on the hazards of our stormwater facilities. While they may appear to look like still ponds, there is moving water beneath the surface, which makes the ice dangerously... The unpredictability of stormwater facilities makes them treacherously unsafe for all winter activities, even walking. So think twice. Don't go on the ice. A safety message from EPCOR.
Black Friday continues at The Brick. Hurry in and save up to $3,000 on big screen TVs. Plus, save up to 65% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off bedroom, dining, and home entertainment furniture. Plus, the more you buy, the more you save, with up to $300 off select brand name major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
For over 65 years, Denham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving for work and play. And that tradition continues with the final year-end 2024 clearout. Enjoy low rates or thousands in year-end savings on every vehicle, including F-150, Bronco, and Super Duty. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. Denham Ford on Highway 2A in Wetaskiwin or at denhamford.ca.
Hand delivering a hamper to a family in need fills everyone's hearts with joy. Be part of the Holiday Hamper program. Adopt a local family and see the difference your groceries and gifts make firsthand. Sign up today at holidayhamper.ca.
Sometimes it feels like you work, sleep, and, well, that's about it. When you finally get a break for something different at Edmonton's best games room, Top Shots Billiards and Ping Pong. Unwind with championship tables, a state-of-the-art golf simulator, and 15,000 feet of games and fun for all ages. Top Shots is a fully licensed bar and restaurant with dozens of flat screens. #1 for parties, for bookings for any size. Top Shots, the best thing to happen at pool since chalk. In Millwoods and at topshots.ca.
A delicious new deal is at Tim's. $3 for a classic breakfast sandwich when you buy any size hot or iced coffee. You heard that right. Just $3 for a classic breakfast sandwich with Canada's favorite coffee. Terms apply. See app for details.
It's time for Tim's.
Portions of this hour brought to you guys by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, congratulations, many of you. You've made Connor smile. Now he's got a tough gig to pick a winner. So it's great. 528. We're going to track down the GM of the Elks as we're down to the last 20 minutes or so as Jason's back in at 5,800 on the Glendale Golf and Country Club membership for 2025. Club includes club storage, range, everything. You get access to the tee as any regular shareholder would. So you can go, hey, you want to golf 7 a.m. on a Saturday, 7 a.m. on a Sunday, 10, whenever. You now, obviously, you just like anybody else, you got to get in and sign up before all the other members. So that's part of it. But it'll be a fun time. You also get the social membership for your immediate family. So your husband, your wife, your kids, who's ever golfing, who's ever living with you, they can be going. And they will love the outdoor facilities at the Glendale. There's 2 pools, a little mini pool and a bigger pool with diving board. It's fantastic. The Oilers, of course, taking on Columbus tonight. Zach Hyman is returning to the lineup. And Cons, we got the Hyman clips. We'll get to those. Try to track down Ed. I think he's running a little late in a meeting, so we'll maybe get him next segment. But Zach Hyman, listen to a gentleman who has been out for just over half the month and rather fired up about getting back in the lineup.
Oh, it's exciting. It's a great day. Anytime you're back in the lineup,
you're excited. That's what all of us love to do is play. It's no fun when you're on the sidelines watching, especially when you're a little banged up. So good to be back.
And he was asked, are there any positives that he takes at all? Like, do you get the rest? Is it one where you do look at the positive, or is it all just, no, I want to get back playing?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're resting your body in a sense, right? Whatever is not ailing you is getting a little bit of a rest. So that's obviously a silver lining, but you want to be playing.
Now, of course, I had to ask him about the Canadian roster and not making it, and kind of how that's received for him. There's never a guarantee, but obviously he was in the mix.
Honestly, the fact that I'm injured and coming back, and I'm excited to be playing again. Obviously excited about tonight, and with Team Canada, I think anybody who's on the cusp or whatever the case may be, there's obviously disappointment, but at the same time, my focus has always been here with Edmonton and controlling what I can control. So yeah, there's disappointment obviously, but at the same time, a lot of excitement for me today, being able to come back in the lineup and play and help us get to the ultimate goal here.
And you know what? I don't think you can rule out for sure that Zach Hyman might not get a phone call. Somebody gets banged up, one of those 13 forwards. I think Zach Hyman and probably Mark Scheifele, I would think, might be the first two forwards. For defensemen, now, if it's a right D that's injured, I got to think Evan Bouchard's on the short list. Maybe him and Doug Hamilton. Now, if it's a left D, now, that is different because they have 4 lefties already and 3 righties. So if it's a lefty who gets hurt, do they bring in another lefty, or do they just say, well, we had 4 lefties and 3 righties, now we're going to have 3 lefties and 4 righties, right? I guess it would depend who it is, but I'd have to think Bouchard is on the short list for D. Dougie Hamilton, maybe Uyghur, a few guys like that. I think what if Drew Doughty suddenly is playing in January? Would he get on the short list? Maybe. So we'll see. I think it's not 100% that he's out. We'll have to see. So. And now Tamus is in at $5,900 for the Glendale Golf and Country Club package today. Fantastic. Love it. A few other things going on for the Oilers. As you look at their schedule, they've got the St. Louis Blues coming to town on Saturday. It's a fun game for Oilers fans. Then you got the Tampa Bay Lightning. Kucherov missing his second game tonight for Tampa Bay, so we'll see if he's back in the lineup next week or not. Then the Oilers take a quick 1-game jaunt. So they'll play tonight, they play Saturday, then they get 2 days off. They play Tuesday against Tampa Bay. Then they'll travel to Minnesota on Wednesday. They play the Wild on Thursday. They'll fly home that Thursday night, probably have the Friday off. And then they play an afternoon game against Vegas on the 14th. Then you have a rematch of the Stanley Cup final on December 16th, the Monday, which I would think there'll be a little bit of extra juice there. Then Boston comes to town on the 19th, and then the Oilers wrap up their pre-Christmas break. You got the San Jose Sharks in town, another afternoon game on December 21st at 2 p.m. And then the Ottawa Senators are in town the next day. I think that's a 5 o'clock start, maybe 6. Against the Sens. And then the Oilers, that'll wrap up their pre-Christmas schedule. So 8 of the next 9 at home. Kind of got a mixed bag of teams. You got Columbus, who's playing well, but still, not a playoff team. St. Louis, not a playoff team. Minnesota's playing great. Vegas is good. Florida's good. Tampa Bay's playoff team. Boston hovering around it. San Jose and Ottawa currently not playoff teams. So the Oilers would love nothing more than to get on a pretty big run for sure when it comes to their home ice and start, maybe putting a little space between them and some of the other teams in the Pacific Division. Right? Like the good news, I guess, for all these teams that are kind of hovering around, there's none of the ones in the middle are really out of it by any stretch, right? Like you look at the Kings, they got 33 points. The Oilers are 5 back. They got a game in hand. You win the game in hand, you're only 3 points back. That's, it's not a big space by any stretch of the imagination. But they want to start, I think, kind of putting themselves consistently ahead of the Flames, consistently ahead of the Canucks. And then, track down Vegas will take a while. They're 9 back of Vegas with a game in hand. So CC is back in, and he's at 6G. I love it. So also check your text because Connor has picked a winner for the tickets. We'll come back. Ed Hervey will join us next, and we'll keep going on the month of giving on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta, new players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet every week all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Your furnace can die in the blink of an eye, usually on the coldest night. So why take that chance this winter? Furnace Family, ATCO's newest home service company, can help. Not sure of your furnace's condition? We can check it for free with the purchase of a new furnace, giving you peace of mind and total comfort all winter long. Daikin offers lifetime warranty on their furnace heat exchangers. It could be the last furnace you ever buy. So call Furnace Family Home Services by ATCO today. Jingle time.
Done right, day or night. FurnaceFamily.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Better holidays start with better ingredients. Better pizza from Papa John's. Get 25% off any regular price pizza with code BETTER25 at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
And Clark is back in at $6,000 for our monthly giving. So Clark and as well as Tamus, please answer your phone because Connor will be calling you. He likes everybody to get on the line so they get their opportunities to get in and don't miss out on the great package here courtesy today. We're getting very close to retail value here on the Glendale Golf and Country Club for the membership for 2025. Club storage, golf, the range is included. You get the regular shareholder, access to the tee. Your immediate family becomes social members. All included dining facilities, pool. It's fantastic. It's a family-oriented private facility located in Northwest Edmonton. Great layout, incredible course conditions, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's talk a little football now as we are joined by the general manager of the Edmonton Elks, Ed Hervey. And Ed, you hired Mark Killam as the coach. You've been through hiring coaches before. You had I think it was 3-4 interviews in a short period of time. What was it about Killam that ultimately led you to want to choose him?
First, thanks for having me on, Jason. I think that, throughout the process, I wrote a list of priorities, that I felt that, obviously that are required for the job. And there was a list of intangibles that were required for this particular job. And one of them was, okay, what what could inspire, or at least who could I, hire that our fans could relate to, who they can feel the passion of this organization and the passion for their work through. I really wanted to make certain for those fans who are who've been on the fence or have just kind of been lingering and watching from a distance, waiting for us to do something that that gave them a jump start to feel passionate about this organization again. Now, again, keep in mind, all that is to say that his experience was there. He checked all the other boxes. Otherwise, we're not interviewing someone who doesn't have the experience to be a head coach. And given his resume, that was clear. But we're talking about intangibles outside of that. Players are drawn to Mark. The fans, who they're going to feel that inspiration of hope and change with. And I believe that as we went through it and interviewing him and talking with him and getting to know him, his energy, his enthusiasm, and his passion for the game of football stood out. And I think the final piece for me was when I had a chance to call coaches, call former players, current players that have that are retired, and when you talk about different coaches, they'll give the rundown, the general rundown, and then the level of excitement that was in their voice when they spoke about Mark, when I had a chance to talk about him and what he did for them and his inspiration to them. I felt like we have something special here, and to let this opportunity get past us, especially where we are as an organization and trying to reignite our fan base. I just felt that he was the right choice for us and what we're trying to do moving forward.
He's, and I talked to Mark, he's very outgoing. The one thing I found, though, he seems to match a similar level of passion that Chris Morris has, yourself has. Not saying that was a mandatory thing, but you've played before, Ed, and you need a coach who's passionate. My understanding is when you talk to a lot of the former players, passionate but a good communicator. And you've had head coaches before. You've probably played for some that are good and some that are bad as head coaches, and because it's different than being just a special teams coordinator. When you're a head coach, you're in charge of everybody, and you have to find a way to connect with all the guys, even though you don't sit with them on one-on-one meetings as often. Correct?
Absolutely. But the special teams coach is the one coach who has a chance to connect with every player, from quarterback to the long snapper and everything in between. Right. So that's the beauty of that position, is that you can get out and talk to the various players from different positions, and they'll tell you how they appreciate how he communicates, they appreciate how he coaches them, and when he coaches them hard, but he's fair. When they make a mistake, he's still in the process of coaching with a positive frame of mind. But again, when you're talking about this landscape, that the CFL is in with these one-year contracts and player movement is at an all-time high, you hope that in selecting a head coach, that the players tend to gravitate to someone that they want to play with. They want to uproot their families and go and come to Edmonton to be around. But also when they get here and recognize the direction of the organization and feel that they're getting coached and all that energy that he brings, we'll hope that we can build continuity in that. And these decisions are always they're stressful in some way, because in one sense you're selecting someone, but in another sense you're letting others down. Good coaches go, and you're always like, am I making the right choice? But there was no question in this case for myself that this was the decision that we needed, and there was no hesitation. There's no second guessing, and I just think that it's going to be a really good thing for this organization moving forward.
Ed Hervey joins us. There's names out there, Jordan Maksimic, JC Sherritt, as your OC and your DC, close to signing that. You look at the rest of the staff, Ed, how much of it is Killam's choice with feedback from you? How do you guys work through that?
Yeah, I think we've already, we've kind of discussed that. That was part of the process. It was the list of candidates that were potential to be a part of the staff. And, that the list of coaches that met the criteria from everything else, experience, development of players, relationships, as far as, building bonds with guys that, the players want to play for, and then, that are, the best at their position. I think that in itself allowed us to, pull together a list that I felt comfortable with in, selecting Mark as well as head coach. So, at this juncture, I think that we both had a really good hand in that, putting the list of guys together. And again, these are the guys that he has to work with on the daily. But, I was going to always closely monitor the coach. I know a lot of coaches in this league. I've been around this league a long time, and it's always about fit. And in particular in this situation, I wanted mature, hardworking, committed coaches that are committed to getting the players better, that can coach young players and veteran players. And, when they leave the building, I want grown-ups out there as well. I'm not, really interested in anything other than that, because this is this second opportunity for myself is very important, and I wasn't going to allow myself to be surrounded by a gang of yahoos that don't understand the importance of turning this organization back into a winner.
Ed Hervey joins us, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook. Ed, of course, the other thing is free agents. And as you mentioned, there's a ton of player movement that's going on in the CFL now, maybe more than ever. And, it's hard to get players to commit to longer term deals. I think it's challenging. But you look at your list, you have a fair amount of guys on both sides of the ball that you look at, some bigger name ones. And I joked yesterday on my show that things I know about Ed Hervey, that he's blindly loyal to the Lakers and the Dodgers, and he'll never pay a receiver $300,000. And I think I'm pretty comfortable in saying that. So when you look at your team signings and everything, like, how confident are you that you can get the majority of your pending free agents signed? And how many would you like to have signed before whatever it is, February 15th?
Well, when we're talking about how many, obviously we have to look at the landscape as what's going to make us a playoff football team and beyond. And as we continue to evaluate the roster and as the coaches are starting to come in, and we have a chance to really dissect the play versus also getting to understand the character of the people, I think that there's an opportunity to get some of those players back in the building, but then there's also there's an opportunity to upgrade as well. That's the beauty of free agency. With respect to the bigger name guys, I think that those are always a priority for us. And again, yeah, to your credit, what you said. I mean, I just believe that the money. And there's certain positions. I mean, I played the position. I just think that there's better use of the resources, and that's not taking anything away from anyone. But we have other areas that are pressing that we need to address. And I think based on that, I think our fans and listeners can understand that we're going to address the areas of concern. And we will reach in free agency and replace the others.
Ed Hervey joins. Ed, there's lots of people wondering about Trey Ford. I know you've had conversations with him. How confident are you that you'll get Trey Ford signed to a contract?
I'm optimistic. I believe we've been working here the last little bit on a lot of things, but I'm very optimistic that we'll get something in place. I've had several conversations with his representation and a couple of conversations with him. I don't see any reason why we can't come to terms. I just want our fans to just be patient with the process and understand that I want him here as well. And, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm able to surround, Trey with the right type of players, the right, talent of players, and all that has to fit in the contract structure that, we sign him with. If we can do all that and I can get it, put a talented roster around him, his success is going to only go higher, and he'll meet the expectations from all of us, and I'm sure the expectations that he has for himself.
And so, I don't know, you obviously don't put a timeline on it. Obviously, the main one is to not do it before free agency. But then I also look around the league, and Saskatchewan just re-signed Harris, and Calgary traded for Adams. I'm not sure I see a team in the league that offers a better chance to be a starting quarterback.
And I think that's that's one of the things that players have to weigh. In this particular case, I think Trey has to weigh as well. That this is the opportunity. I would hope that he feels this is a great opportunity for him, and this will be the one place that he'll take the opening snap in training camp and fight off all comers, right? But I believe that in this process that we're also in the, we're also getting to know one another. And I think that we have to build the trust, and he has to do that in a short amount of time here with respect to, I'm a voice over the phone, but, I'd like to think that, my reputation with the players and being able to be matter of fact and not play games with them will be something that he researches with, guys like Mike Riley and Bo Levi Mitchell, and reach out to those guys and, some of the other guys that have played, on teams that I've been a part of, and to help his comfort level to recognize that, with all the sincerity that I have, is to ensure that the roster that's around him is going to be one that can help him succeed and help his football team succeed. And if he puts faith in that, he'll sign and we'll have a good time. And a year from now, we'll be on the phone talking about the great year he had. So I'm looking forward to the continuing talks and optimistic about the opportunity to get a deal done.
How good are the Lakers, Ed?
Well, there's always a chance, right? They started out pretty good, and in the last few days, it's just been like, oh my goodness, what's happening? But hey, a lot of basketball left. I'm gonna keep riding them until the wheels fall off.
Now they're not going to win the in-season championship. Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I think. They won the first one. I'm not sure that really mattered to me when they did, but hey, if you can win a championship when you're a competitor and when you're out there competing, and they put something in front of you, you might as well go on and go for it. That's the mentality that I have. But if they don't win it this year, maybe it'll be good so they can get a little rest. If they can win the NBA championship, that's the one that I prefer to see them get this year. So hopefully they get a little better and get healthy and just put some wins together. Right? I get tired of turning on the television and seeing what I saw the other night against Miami.
Ed, always good to talk football and basketball with you. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on. Thanks again, Jason.
There you go. That's GM of the Elks, Ed Hervey. And I see Cons working the phones. Do we have a winner, Cons? No. Oh, they're still working the phones all right. So Cons is still on the phone between Clark and Jason. And so we'll see what happens. But he'll probably update you in the pregame show that comes up right after. So I know the last bid we had was $6,400, and he likes everybody to get their final bids in. So we'll see where that goes. But that's amazing. It's all for charity. So try to get it all in. Enjoy the Oilers Blue Jackets. We've got the pregame show coming up next here on Sports 1440. Let's get to a sports update brought to you by Ewell, your partner in power since 1975. For all your electrical gear, it's easy. Order 24/7 online at ewel.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Final number 6,600. Congratulations to Clark for winning that package with the Glendale Oilers in action tonight, taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Puck drop 7 o'clock. We got pregame coverage coming up next with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson right here on Sports 1440. Couple games underway right now. After 20 minutes, the Lightning lead the Sharks 5-0. Sends up a 1-0 lead over the Red Wings. Canadians lead the Preds by that same score. In Buffalo, Sabres up on the Jets 2-1. And the Panthers lead the Flyers 2-0. Still to come tonight. Also claimed in the Blues in the NFL. Week 14 kicks off. Packers Lions from Ford Field in Detroit. That'll get going at 6:15. And in the association, the Raptors are in action right now, trailing the Oklahoma City Thunder 17-10. Allen still in the first quarter. Elsewhere, Cavs lead the Nuggets 58-53. Mavericks have a 57-42 lead over the Wizards, and the Knicks trail the Hornets 16-5 at home in the first. Still to come tonight, Kings take on the Grizz. The Suns in New Orleans. Spurs battle the Bulls, and it's the Rockets up against the Warriors. From the CFL, veteran quarterback Trevor Harris signing a 1-year extension with the Rough Riders. Last season in 12 games, he threw for just over 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got pregame coverage, Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson. I'm Connor Halley. This is